Oh, man. This is what it's all about. Back to our roots. Now, those of you who've been following for a while, you know the original Undisputed Goat Podcast was truly started on TikTok. We started on TikTok, the big three, as you see it right now. And we started on Sunday Night Recap. And sometimes we did it on Thursday. Now, we're back on Sunday night, recapping the NFL, college football, just to name a few things, man. And we're back with the big three. Once again, myself, Flash, BRF. How y'all doing this Sunday?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing good. I apologize about earlier, like I had my camera off. I was trying to my dad brought some food home. It was the first time I had Whataburger. So I had to I was grubbing. I didn't feel like I didn't want to eat nobody's face. It was all right. It was pretty good. But huh?
I don't live anywhere near a Whataburger, so I'm curious what it's like. So it's not that great.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not like, I mean, it's not like the greatest. It's not like the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, because me being in Madison, I mean, there's McDonald's, there's Burger King, there's Hardee's, there's Wendy's. I'm taking all those spots. I'm taking all those spots over the Whataburger. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But so it was okay. But I mean, outside of that though, man, this weekend football was fire. It was fire. Great games. I'm ready to get into it. But I will, before we go on, I know we're not gonna talk about it. I will shout out the young homie. I will shout out Dirty Dominic Mysterio winning the AAA Mega Championship at the Worlds Collide, beating El Hijo del Vikingo in a pretty solid match. It was a good match. Dominic Mysterio has been one of the MVPs of WWE in 2025. So shout out to him. He definitely deserved it. And just the full circle moment of Rey Mysterio being the one to wrap the championship around him. It was a good moment. It was a good moment. So definitely want to shout out the boy Dom. But yeah, outside of that, I'm ready to talk about some football, man. Because this weekend was just amazing as far as football was concerned. A lot of good games.
Lash.
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a crazy week in the world, but I'm doing all right. Work's going all right. I wish all the mosquitoes would just die here. Like, they are terrible. We've had a ton of rain. Like, if I could bottle up all the mosquitoes in the thing and turn on a flamethrower, I would. Oh my God. But other than that, praise God, life is good. So I'm good with that.
Hey, and shout out to the late great Ricky Hatton, if you will. Ricky Hatton was found this morning in his home in Manchester. One of the all-time greats. Been a long week.
Yeah, it really has been, man.
So big shout out to Ricky Hatton. Big shout out to Denver. Big shout out to everyone who lost their lives, all the tragedies this week. Big shout out to everyone. So I will leave it at that. But let's get into the NFL, man. Look, we're going to do something a little bit special today. We used to do this all the time on, the Sunday night recap on TikTok, man. We're bringing it back tonight. NFL quick hits. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, we go through a couple of segments and we decide what was the game of today, who was the performer of today, who is washed, who has the most red flag, and who is the new team to watch. Excuse me. So with that being said, man, let's go through the quick hits of it. Who had the game of the day?
The game of the day was clearly Giants and Cowboys. Game of the day was clearly Giants Cowboys. I mean, they scored 41 points in the fourth quarter. I think that's the most they've ever scored in one quarter in that entire rivalry. I mean, what more? I mean, I was expecting a good game, but not, in my opinion, NFL game of the year through the first 2 weeks so far. That was crazy. Easily Giants Cowboys.
I'm going to take a different route. I'm going to go to Colts versus the Broncos. I'm going to go Colts versus Broncos because, look, if you had any reservations about Daniel Jones this year, they just went out the window tonight. They just went out the window. The way he was able to lead that team down the field in order to put them in position for the game-winning field goal, have 300 yards, and just been able to articulate that ball down the field. And they're 2-0 for the first time since 2009. They're 2-0 for the first time in 2009. So I have to go with the Colts versus the Denver Broncos. And he did that against a stifling defense. The Denver Broncos have a stifling defense. That's not one of those defenses where you see it's good one week and it's bad the next. No, that defense is stifling. So for him to do that and lead them down the field and lead them to victory over Bo Nix and company, that's nothing short of amazing. And, hey, I got to give Daniel Jones his props. Hey, unfortunately, Anthony Richardson, AR5, and Great Works of Debo, what job? So that's what's going on. Can I have my job back? What job? That's what's going on right now. Big shout out to PSP, man. And we just got through talking about the Dallas game. And, yeah, Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind. Imagine if Andrew Luck were on that roster. I'm going to get into that. We're going to talk about Andrew Luck a little bit later as it relates to another player, PSP. But thank you for bringing it up. As always, salute. Flash, what was your game of the day?
For the sake of difference, I'm just going to say the Patriots and Dolphins. I mean, we had back-to-back kickoff returns. We had pick sixes. I mean, it was a nutsy back and forth crazy game. The Patriots ended up getting their first win of the season. Mike Vrabel, his first win as a Patriots head coach. So it was it was just kind of a crazy game. Drake May looked like, after last week, a really poor, questionable game. Came out and had a stellar game, over 80% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns. Looked like an NFL quarterback. So I, as a Patriot fan, have a little bit of hope. I'm not sold yet, but I have a little bit of hope. I think the Dolphins are the Dolphins. I think that they're going to look great one week. I think they're going to look, and depending on the defense that they play, stuff will cook. And then other weeks, they're going to look like one of the worst teams in the league. I think that's the way that team's built. But I think that was kind of the most fun game of the week besides the Giants and the Cowboys.
Awesome. Amazing. And as we all are, and as we used to on TikTok channel that we all was a part of, we are paying attention to the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings game. So as we get breaking news from that, we will be updating you, the audience, of that as well. We will not miss a thing here on the Undisputed Goat Podcast. So who was the GOAT performer of today? We'll start with you, Flashman.
I'm going to say this is going to kind of contradict what we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I'm going to say the Detroit Lions defense. They made the Bears look awful, and it was a great rebound from week 1, kind of smacking around by the Packers, which we will get to also later on. But I'm going to say I was actually very impressed with how the Lions rebounded. I mean, Jared Goff. I mean, you could go with the whole Lions team as a whole. Jared Goff threw for 5 touchdown passes. He had almost a perfect quarterback rating. Him also over 80% completion percentage. I mean, it was just 1 interception. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks. I mean, they just pressured Caleb Williams all day. I'm going to say the Lions as a whole. I'm not even going to pick out one person. I was impressed.
BRL.
A lot of really, really good performances today. I think the easy route would be Russell Wilson, 455 yards. I mean, just absolutely shredded the Cowboys defense. But I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go from a performer in that same game. I'm going Brandon Aubrey. I mean, I'm sorry. I think it's safe to say Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker in football right now. I really just don't think it's up for debate right now. Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker in football. I mean, a 64 yarder to tie it, to send it into overtime. He didn't miss anything today, and then hitting the game winner with under 5 seconds to go in the game. I mean, Brandon Aubrey is really solidifying what a lot of people feel the way they feel about him as far as like the kicking game and special teams is concerned. He is the best place kicker in the National Football League. So shout out Brandon Aubrey.
Him or Harrison Butker.
Yeah, him or Bucking. Yeah, Butker. Yes, two. Yeah, those definitely two good choices. But I think right now, in terms of consistency and just leg and just everything, I love watching Brandon Aubrey kick.
I'm gonna go and be a homer. I'm gonna be a homer and pick a running back fresh out of UGA, the University of Georgia, and I'm gonna go with James Cook. Buffalo, let James cook. When you let him cook, he gonna do some good things. 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. And let's not forget what happened after that scare that I thought Josh Allen was out. I thought he had got knocked out because that nose was leaking. So yeah, that was crazy. So hey man, look, Buffalo, I'm not trying to tell you how to run the offense, but look, you have to stop letting Josh Allen be the end all be all on the offensive side of the ball when you have a back the caliber of James Cook. Only difference between a lot of good backs and James Cook, you don't let him get the ball over 300 times a year. I guarantee you give James Cook that ball over 300 times. I guarantee you that's 1,800 yards. Guaranteed. So let James Cook. So I have to go with James Cook as my GOAT performer for the night, man. I have to go with James Cook, man. Another close second, I will say, I know I want to pick one, Dak Prescott. Got to go with Dak. That's my next one. So, yeah, man. But GOAT performer for the night has to be, for me, I have to say James Cook. Anybody want to add something to
that? If you want to, yeah, I would definitely go. Yeah, I would definitely go honorable mention Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams. I mean, that was 2024 Detroit, what we saw today. That was criminal what they did to Chicago.
Yeah, that homecoming did not go well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right. Who is washed? Who is the windshield washer of the day? We'll start with you, BRF.
Bryce Young. Bryce Young. And it's a shame because I had high hopes for him, especially after what he did the second half of last year. I mean, basically using him being benched as a catalyst and his motivation to refocus and really just tore the league up the second half of the year. And then the front office making the moves they made to improve Carolina. I'm sitting here thinking Carolina might have a shot to kind of be like a sneaky wildcard team. Not if he's going to play like this. Not if he's going to play like this. He's reverted back to rookie year and beginning of 2024 Bryce Young. I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely insane how horrible he's looked the first 2 weeks of the year. Well, against Jacksonville, it wasn't so bad, but today was just god awful.
Yeah. PSP says Travis Kelce. Is there? I think there's a lot of validity to that at this point. We might.
I was going to say the Chiefs as a whole.
The Chiefs as a whole.
I was wrong. I thought that maybe the Chiefs would come back with kind of a vengeance. Well, apparently they're not the Patriots of old. That's my washed. I think they are done as a football team. Because here's the thing. Here's the sad part. I actually think that Mahomes has talent around him. I understand that Kelce is washed. He is washed. He's not the same player. He wasn't the same player he was last year. He's spending too much time with Taylor Swift or doing what. I'm just kidding. He's probably just getting old. This is what happens to all of us. But I think, I mean, he's got Hollywood Brown. Like, he's got talent around him. He's got good backs. I mean, and that defense isn't bad. But they're just not good. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's coaching, lack of hunger, lack of I don't know, but I think they're done. And when I say done, I don't mean like they're not going to make the playoffs possibly, or like they need to blow it up. But I think as the dominant team in the league, like far and away, that's long gone. I think we are past that. But yeah, to pounce on that, yes, absolutely, 100%. Travis Kelce is done.
He's gone. Is it safe to change the name of Arrowhead Stadium to the Wash at this point?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Nah.
Yeah. My man DC. The man DC says Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw last week how good the Ravens offense can be. Even though the Buffalo Bills came back and won in a great game, I'm not, I don't think anybody is expecting the Browns to be world beaters this year. I think everybody assumed they would be about 500, and that's about it. Joe Flacco at the end of the day is still Joe Flacco. Like, I mean, he's not the mid 2010s Joe Flacco where he's going into New England and
putting a beating on the Patriots.
Well, I mean, it's sometimes, but yes, like going into that and winning playoff games at times with Baltimore and going in like that. Joe Flacco's long gone. You're going to see it here and there, but the Browns as a whole, again, they're going to be 9-8 or so. Be fighting for a wild card spot maybe till the end of the year, but and then fall off for the most part, which is sad too because they got a lot of talent too. They just don't have. Well, they don't have a quarterback. I mean, let's just be honest. They don't have a quarterback, and their wide receivers are. They're okay, but they just don't have a quarterback. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah. The wash for tonight. We're gonna answer this question in a minute, PSP, because I'm gonna get to that, and I think that's a good question. Wash of tonight. What position do I always say is the most important position on that field?
Offensive line.
Okay, so on today's episode of Mofos Who Don't Know How to Damn Block, that would be the Cincinnati Bengals because their quarterback hurt again.
Tell me about it.
Look, I'm going to just be real. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm telling them, look, you don't get a line here by next year, you can get my ass up out of here. Well, I'm just being real. You ain't finna get me killed. You're not finna get me killed out here. Every other damn year, it seems like every other year, it's like leap year. It's like 1 year Joe Burrow is good, and the very next year he's hurt because they can't protect him. This is his second comeback player of the year award. Nowadays, you can't have a comeback player of the year award without you getting what? Hurt. So guess what? These offensive line need to really get on the ball. They need to really get on the ball.
Okay, so I have a quick question. I didn't watch the Bengals game. I would like because I saw that he was hurt when I was kind of scrolling through Twitter randomly. So I kind of want to see like the game in general. But just to pose a question out there, is it their game plan? Are they doing too many 5 and 7-step drops? I feel like they need to go like quick at basically old school Patriots style where that ball's out in less than 2 seconds.
Or either put them in the shotgun one, do something.
I don't know. I just think that they need to do something. Like I feel that's if you are struggling at a certain position and you don't have the talent. Yes, I understand that. Like your talent will limit you, but then as a coach, you need to make adjustments.
You got to.
It's not like they don't have good backs. I mean, good guys. Chase Brown is a really good back.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They need to block. All that investment that they made inside the receivers and stuff like that, that's all fine and well. But the quarterback, I see it, but the quarterback cannot throw where?
On his back.
So quarterback can't throw on his damn back. You need to get him a line. Or y'all need to learn how to block, do something, because damn. I mean, it's getting ridiculous at this point. I'm just being real. You got one more year. If I'm Joe Burrow, you got one more year to get me a line. I'm gonna tough this year, next year out. After that, shit, you might as well just go ahead and trade me, or I'll force my damn way up out of here like Carson Palmer did. I'm not.
And they lucky. They ended up winning that game because Trevor Lawrence was one of the biggest busts at quarterback over the last decade plus.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but let's go back to this question about PSP. Do you think Russell had the best deep ball? No.
Josh Allen has the best deep ball.
Josh Allen. Should Kansas City
wait, hold up.
Go ahead.
I think Russell Wilson has the best catchable deep ball.
He does have a pretty one.
I think it's the most catchable deep ball that we've seen probably since Troy Aikman.
I like that.
Yeah, that's my. I don't think he has the best deep ball, but I think Josh Allen. Yeah, you could say, but best deep ball doesn't automatically mean best arm strength.
Yeah.
So
true.
That's why I say so. Like, is your deep ball, accurate? Is it, catchable? So I would say Russell. I would say Russell Wilson as a whole, like in history, has one of the best deep balls of all time.
Okay. I'll say Josh Allen, cannon. So
okay,
he has a cannon. I think and depending on who's out there, I think he has a very, very catchable deep ball. So I really think that. Let's go back to this question here. Do y'all think with Kansas City being the wash right about now, can they become unwashed by trading for Tyreek Hill, or should they trade for him? Or at this point, is he too much of a headache at this point, especially without Eric Bieniemy there?
If any team can do it, it's Kansas City. Because even without Eric Bieniemy, there's still structure there. The team just isn't. The team just isn't the most talented right now, particularly at the skill position at the wide receiver spot. I mean, Xavier Worthy's hurt. Rashee Rice is suspended first six games. So basically, you're down to like Tyquan Thornton, who scored a touchdown today on a pretty ball from Mahomes. You got Hollywood Brown. I've been saying all day they need to put Noah Gray on the field. They need to play. Need to play Noah Gray. They need to. Noah Gray is a big athlete at the tight end position who has good hands, who can give you kind of like someone to take a lot of that burden off of Travis Kelce as far as like, controlling the seams in the middle of the field. They need to play Noah Gray more, just point blank period. He showed himself last year, or really the last couple of years. Noah Gray is a talented player. I think if anybody can do it with the structure they have in place, it is Kansas City. Is he a headache? Absolutely. At this point, this dude needs to quit with the accusations. He needs to leave the women alone. He needs to quit touching them. Whether it's true or not, quit putting yourself in those positions to where you're getting accusations like that. With that being said, if Kansas City feels like he's still worth the risk because he's obviously still uber talented, you may have to. If you need you need a shot in the arm at this point, and depending on what Miami record is, the first month and a half of the season, if I'm Kansas City, I'm definitely. You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
Flash.
I don't know the details of the allegations against him.
DV.
It's DV.
It's DV.
And this isn't the first time he's been accused of that.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where when you're accused of it multiple times, and not over like this isn't like a this isn't somebody like that's like this isn't a one-off where somebody could be lying. No, she could be. I don't know the details, but to BRF's point, you keep he's got what 74 children.
He's got a punch. He's got a punch.
By what 10 different women?
He got a bunch.
But for between 10 different women or however many women it is, you are not surrounding yourself with quality women. You need to walk away from that because honestly, I don't even care if I'm Kansas City. If you're too stupid at however old he is to keep doing that, I don't want you in my locker room. I don't care how talented you are. Because at some point, like if this isn't 5 years ago where he was clearly the best wide receiver in the league, or at least,
top three
at the very least. Now I'm worried if you're going to, I'm just going to be frank. I'm just be frank about this. Now I have to worry every day. Like all of a sudden I'm going to wake up to a text message or a phone call. I'm sorry. I was a little off. 74 kids was a little higher than 10, but whatever. If now I have to, if I'm a coach, now I got to worry from a phone call from like the PR rep or the police station or whoever saying like, and now all of a sudden you beat the crap out of a woman or something like that. I'm sorry. No, I'm not trading for you.
You know what? I'm going to just be real. I'm going to go over Flash on this one because the thing is, I like to call it the Randy Moss Dallas Cowboys effect. Remember, they didn't want to bring in Randy Moss because of all the trouble that Michael Irvin had got into. You already have a troubled wide receiver in the form of Rashee Rice. You gonna bring in some more damn trouble?
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like your parents trying to bring in one of your cousins. He's already troubled, and your brother already gets suspended from school from fighting.
There's an old saying that you can tell a lot of a person on who he surrounds himself with. If you surround yourself with terrible people, I'm just saying. So I don't think anybody. If I was Miami, like depending on the cap situation, I'd cut him or bench him. Like it's just not worth it anymore. There's all that old adage of, well, if I'm, because it's based on somebody's talent. Now we're at the point. Sorry. No, and again, this is multiple, and there's no room in the league or anywhere for that at all. Sorry. Not in my locker room if I'm the coach.
Now, the thing is, if he were to get cut, it will cost them $50 million. So I doubt they'll get rid of him. If they trade him, it's $29 million. So depending on, and I don't think that team is gonna hit anyway. I think when you talk about a car wash, you need to talk about Miami because they are washed. In fact, they never were it in the first place. I just think they had a whole lot of offensive weakness that everybody thought that they was just gonna flourish automatically. But they are washed. They are washed above washability.
Well, that's quarter. There's a quarterback. It's a quarterback and a coach. Two is pretty much all but lost faith. The locker room is pretty much all but lost faith in Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. It's pretty much what it boils down to. Pretty much all it boils down to.
So is that your most, going into the next segment, going into the most alarming red flag of the day?
They're definitely up there. I would also go with Justin Fields with the Jets because that was like, that's one of them games. That's one of them games where it's like, aha, I see why teams haven't had faith in you because you'll look the way you did in week 1 against the Steelers, where you're lights out, where you look like one of the future faces of the league, and then you'll have a game like this where you look like you need to go to the CFL, like just bad. So,
yes, and that's the thing too. Like this is what I said going into the league. We already know who Justin Fields is. And so I'm not, I'm not that surprised. He just is what he is, who he is. So I'm not that surprised. I don't think he's going to be much better. Again, he's going to have really great weeks, and then he's going to look like the second coming, like BRF said. But I think more often than not, he's just going to look like a below average quarterback that can run around and make plays every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the most alarming red flag of the day. That goes
Who would be yours?
Chicago. That goes to Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about them later on in the segments. The most alarming at this point, I'm going to go with, let me see some things. I'm going to go with most alarming. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Because you saw the way he waved off. Now your play is starting to irritate your new coach now. And you saw how you waved off the coach, right? Unless you got clout like that, you can't wave off no damn coach. You're the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I was holding out hope for him, and now I'm out.
So
I'm off I'm off the Trevor Lawrence island. I was again, this is week 2, but at some point you have to cut off, your nose to spite your face. And so I think we're at this point with Trevor Lawrence. He's just not a good quarterback. To why that is, I don't know, but he's just not good.
I mean, the real reason why, number one, I will say this. I'm going to wait until the end of the year in order to make my evaluation. He has been to a Pro Bowl. He has been able to go to a playoff game and win a playoff game. But I think one thing that has been affecting Trevor Lawrence more so than anything is this revolving door that he constantly has to deal with.
I mean,
when you have a revolving door, it's kind of hard to get structure within you. In college, he had one coach, and Dabo, for all of his antics, he did a hell of a job in order to keep that coaching staff together. Hell of a job, Atlanta, to keep that coaching staff together. In fact, he took pieces out of his own salary in order to get pay raises for his staff so he wouldn't lose them. So the thing is, you go all those years at Clemson, you have the same coordinators, you have the same head coach. Now, your first year, you have that dumbass Urban Meyer. He was there. He's out there kicking kickers. Going out.
Was that Pierce?
Huh?
That Pierce?
Yeah, I think that was Pierce. So we got ourselves a pass rush on our hands.
We got a pass rusher.
So I think that then for 2 years he had to deal with Doug Peterson, which now you have to deal with another coach, and it remains to be seen on what he's going to do with this coach, because it looks like right now the team that is going to overtake the division at this point, because they can't protect the down south version of Joe Burrow, that being C.J. Stroud. It looks like that Indianapolis may have a legitimate chance in order to overtake C.J. Stroud in the Houston Texans.
I got a question. Because of the Daniel Jones thing, is Brian Daboll a good coach?
I mean, Russ, look, I will say this. A lot of coordinators get a lot of things as far as coaching jobs because of the job they did for quarterbacks. They did with quarterbacks. And I think that Josh Allen got Brian Daboll that job. And and I really don't think he is. The players are not listening to him. You saw the offensive lineman today had 8 damn penalties in a damn row. I'd have made his ass walk home. I'm just going to be real. How the hell are you the starting left tackle and you get 8 penalties in a row? You out here clubbing people like you Bam Bam off the damn Flintstones.
4 on the same drive.
4 on the same drive. Oh, hey, didn't want to get mad at the damn coach. Hell no. Get your ass off my field, son. No. That's not how it works. No. You have to I'm sorry to say this, but the worst thing that they ever did, I know the time passed them by, but the worst thing that ever happened to New York as far as they need a coach that's a hard ass. They need another Tom Coughlin. Because structure will be born the day you bring it. I know we all hate hard asses as far as being authority figures, as far as being coaches and stuff like that. But I guarantee you, once you get it, structure is born. They need a coach with some structure, not just a good offensive mind, not just a good defensive mind. They need a coach with some structure that is going to tell you either fall in line or fall 37 stories. And sometimes that's what you need as a team. There's no reason for the left tackle to get 8 penalties in a row, 4 on the same drive. That is freaking inexcusable. And when you're a lineman and you're costing your team like that and you get benched, that's flagrant. So he has to do a better job as a coach as being a disciplinarian, because all of these penalties and stuff like that, eight penalties, and you have the talent. That's the thing.
They put up 37 points in regulation with all those penalties. That's the crazy part.
That's the thing. You have talent on that team. You have a lot of talent on that team. You got to instill some discipline in these players. You got to have some discipline in these players. Red flag for the day for Dwayne is the Steelers.
They up there too.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was actually that game was the result of that game was pretty surprising. I talk about a green flag. Sam Darnold in Seattle looks
good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Actually look great. And that defense looks pretty good too.
I'm less surprised of the Seattle Seahawks defense. I'm less surprised with them. They have a young, talented defense. Not surprised at all. I was a little more worried with him as far as how this offense was going to operate. But the Darnold to JSN connection is already looking good. I like it. I like what I see.
Yeah. Like I said, and remember, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks used to be the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Remember that Baltimore Ravens team who had over 77 sacks, who went to the NFC Championship not too long ago when Lamar won his second MVP. So don't be surprised about that as well. But let's go to anything you want to add, Flash?
Yeah, nope. I think that's pretty much about it. I'm good there.
New team to watch.
All right, I'm gonna try and not be biased right now.
New team to watch. We already know about them. And a new team, somebody we ain't really been talking about that's had a good start so far.
New team to watch.
We can go with Indy.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with.
I think that's the most obvious answer would be Indy. Depending on the result of this Falcons Minnesota game, I think either team could be in that boat as well. I mean, as a new team to watch. But I'd say Indy right now with Danny Dimes. Like, the one thing for his time in New York when he played well, he was a really fun quarterback to watch play. And I'm not talking about just the running, like when he was running, but I'm talking about like in general, like when he was on his game, like running, throwing, and everything, like he was like fun to watch. So I would say Indy. They got like really good skilled players. They got a decent defense. Like they're kind of fun to watch. They got Jonathan Taylor. So I'll go with Indy.
St. Louis. LA.
Okay.
LA. I think we got to watch LA with both our eyes. I think BRF said it at the beginning of the season, but
I went out on a limb and picked Matthew Stafford to win MVP as a dark horse. So you already know how I feel about the LA Rams coming into the season. I definitely think they're going to win the division, and I think they're an NFC Championship dark horse team. So you already know how I feel about them.
Yeah. So I really think that the Los Angeles Rams have a definite chance in order to make a lot of noise. Plus, congratulations to Devontae Adams, 12,000 yards on his career. 12,000 yards.
And he's in the top 10 of touchdowns of all time now, too.
Yeah, top 10 in touchdowns of all time. Hell yes. Joe Burrow could miss up to 3 months.
With turf toe?
Yeah. No, he got some ligaments messed up in his toe.
Well, I mean, it's typically what turf toe is like if it's usually damaged ligaments, but if it's like bad,
it's got to be bad for 3 months.
Yeah.
Damn. He just dropped that damn ball.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Get your ass off that field. Damn. You on the road. You can't fumble that ball. You know, but damn. Good catch, but bad execution. Not bad. 3 months.
That's
okay. I gotta ask you this. And I know this is a reach, but I have to ask this question. It's early in the season. The Cincinnati Bengals right now, over the course of the next couple of weeks, they have the Vikings, the Broncos, the Lions, the Packers, and the Steelers. So the next 4 weeks, they got to run the gauntlet. If this quarterback because remember, he almost led them to the playoffs once before when Joe Burrow was out.
Jake Browning.
Yeah. If he leads them to the playoffs, and the offensive line looks damn good and they're on cue, is it a possibility that Joe Burrow is the problem?
No. Nah. Because it'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if Joe Burrow really ran around the pocket like that and ran himself into sacks, but he don't run himself into sacks.
Because we saw this before in New England. Quarterbacks who got bested the Dolphins by a score of 30. Damn. But we saw this before.
What, with Mac Jones?
No, I'm talking about with Brady. Remember, Bledsoe got injured a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. But is Joe Burrow the problem? No. When he's healthy, he's arguably the best quarterback in the league. So
I know that. But I'm talking about as far as injuries goes. It's like
so you're asking whether is he injury prone? Like
just injury prone, because guess what? You can be the best in the league, but just injury prone. Hey, we saw this before. Hey, we saw it with Steve Bartkowski. Remember, when he was on, but when he was injured, he was off. But,
yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. That thought did cross my mind when I saw he was injured today. I'm like, is he just not
durable?
No. And I think at this point it's a valid question. I mean, he's injured every other year at this point now. And I just think that I'm not saying the Bengals I'm not insinuating at all that the Bengals should move on or anything like that. But I do think we need to start questioning if he's going to be out for 3 months. Like, is he just unlucky? Is he, I don't know. I don't know what to think. And I'm kind of pissed, or I shouldn't say pissed, but I'm disappointed because I'm specifically going, or I really wanted to go. I am going to go to the Packers and Bengals game in 3-4 weeks or whatever's in. And I specifically wanted to go to see Joe Burrow play. And now that ain't going to happen. So, just is what it is, I guess. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm going to just be real honest with you. There is a such thing as just your body betraying you. I mean, we've seen this a lot of times we saw this with Carson Palmer because they couldn't protect him.
Yeah.
Carson was injury prone, and then they got Andy Dalton in there who wasn't as injury prone, and they was able to have some success with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
I mean, granted, they didn't go to a Super Bowl, but, and Andy Dalton often did a lot of bad things in the playoffs. But once they got somebody in there that wasn't hurt all the time, then guess what? It was a whole nother ball game. So you got to start asking yourself that question. I mean, yeah, we all know that he's the Andrew Luck of this league right now. He's the most talented quarterback. But I said when he first came out, I wouldn't have went to Cincinnati. I'd have told him, trade my ass. I'm not coming in. I understand he's from Ohio and you don't want to rock the boat or be difficult. But the thing is, I'm not going to play for a franchise who has failed, who failed their last two quarterbacks that are cheap. I mean, Marvin Lewis, when he was there, the main reason why they kept him there is because he kept things going on the field, although he never won a playoff game. And when you're keeping a coach there because of how things flow, at one point, the facilities, they didn't have to have good facilities at a certain point. They didn't even have good facilities at a certain point. They didn't even have Gatorade and water on the field, on their practice field, until Marvin Lewis got there. So when I think about the rap sheet of that organization, they've already been voted worst in the league for worst facilities in the world. It took them damn near a decade, and I'm just speaking that as a bigger speech. It took them a decade in order to see, hey, we need to make sure this defense is suited up. Now the thing is, now you're seeing the importance of you signing Trey Hendricks at this point, as well as your other defensive end from Texas A&M, because your star quarterback may be out for the next couple of months. Now you're seeing the importance of that because you're not going to be able to put up 47 damn points every year, every week. So considering how terrible they have done, and failing their quarterbacks, I would have. Hey, if I would have been Joe Burrow coming out there, undisputed number one overall pick, I'd have told him to go jump in the lake off the rip. I'd have pulled an Eli Manning. And I know people don't like when quarterbacks do that, but I'm just being real. If I'm one of the best in the league and my value is what everybody says it is, to hell with what you're talking about. I don't really care about the establishment. I don't care about what's popular. I care about what's great, what's best for my career if I'm a football player. So if that means I have to come out here and be a butt and be a prick about it and get you to trade me so my career won't go up in obscurity, so be it. Holla at you. I got to make business decisions because at the end of the day, in the great words of Sean Carter, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So, yeah, I would have told him to go jump in the lake right off the rip. I would have never let him draft me.
No.
I would have never let him draft me. Boy, I'm not going to even lie. I would have started so much shit when I got there. I'd have told I ain't going. I'd have told him off the rip, I ain't going. Well, what? I ain't going. I'd have did just like John Elway, raised hell, spit, all type of shit. No, I'm not going up there. No. You're laughing, but am I lying in my assessment? When you think about all of the outside of the 80s, I will say, when you think about all the careers that Cincinnati have wasted, when you think about Willie Anderson, when you think about Rudy Johnson, when you think about Corey Dillon, when you think about they're the damn Chicago Sky of the NFL.
Ew.
They're the damn Chicago Sky of the NFL. Corey Dillon, Rudy Johnson, Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco, TJ Houshmandzadeh, just to name a few. Remember Justin Smith? He wasn't able to make a lot of noise as far as playoffs until he went to San Francisco and joined up with Jim Harbaugh.
True.
Think about the players that they had. Ray Mongo. They had Odell. You remember Odell Thurman came out of Georgia. They had Odell Thurman. They had Keith Rivers. They had a hell of a lot of players, good players, have gone to Cincinnati, and their career has died soon after that. And the minute they left, they was able to make a lot of noise. Think about when Carson Palmer went to Arizona. Think about how well he did. Almost got them to an NFC championship. If he would have got hurt, they would have been good. Well, like I said, the Cincinnati Bengals are the Chicago Sky of the NFL. They bring in players. Their career dies really, really fast. They have great Hall of Fame players. Hell, think about our guy from UGA. Think about A.J. Green. Think about A.J. Green.
Yeah.
That's where your career is going to be wasted. You're going to get some playoff wins, You're gonna get to the playoff a couple of times, but you're not gonna win anything in Cincinnati. So I would have told them right off the rip, don't even bother. No. Mm-mm. Hey man, it's about winning for me. Look, if I was a professional athlete, I'd make $1 million a year and have 11 damn Super Bowl rings. How you feel about your $1 million a year contract, Mr. Champ? I feel great about it. I'm gonna win another Super Bowl this year. Well, your workload is a lot, I know, but I'm gonna have another Super Bowl. That's it. It's about winning. So guess what, man? It's like that's just how it is. Anything y'all want to add to that?
No, I'm good. I'm good. No, y'all pretty much nailed that one. I'm good.
Let's go from the shores of Lake Erie to the frozen tundra of Green Bay. Are the Packers the best team in the league? You have the 4, Flashman.
Yes. Yes, I think they are. I think they're the best team in the league right now. But if we're doing like power rankings, I mean, like, you could argue Philly still, but I think right now, I'll put it this way. They are the scariest team in the league. I know Jaden Reed just went down with an injury. He went out with a broken collarbone. I didn't see how long. That's typically a 4 to 8 week injury, depending on where it was broken and how severe it was. But they have skill position players. They have an offensive line. They have a running game. And that defense looks, I'm just going to be blunt, and I'm going to say a 4-letter word, so I apologize, but that defense looks scary as shit. And Micah Parsons, whoo! So
He ain't even at full strength. He ain't even at full strength right now.
No, and he's only playing in the first game. Okay, I was at the opener. I was at the opening game, and needless to say, the excitement in the air is usually for an opener is really like hyped. But when Parsons came out, holy crap! 1 and 2, the first snap that he got on there, he split a double team like it was nothing, and made a pressure, and everybody all of a sudden in the crowd was like, "Oh, we finally have one. We have somebody that offensive coordinators lie in wake at night, sweating bullets because they don't know what to do." And oh my God. And he's only just turned 26 years old. Mind you, this team, even adding probably, if arguably not, the best defender in the league, this team is still the youngest team in the league. So they are scary as shit right now, and I love it. And that defense is legit. And yes, I'm just going to say yes. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to say yes, but they are scary as all get up right now. And it's great. Great. I'm done.
All that just for me to say Philadelphia's still the best team in the league. All that for me to still say Philly's the best team in the league. They are. Look. You make compelling arguments, but if you put them, I'm just saying, if you put them on a neutral field today, I'm still taking Philly. I feel like Philly and Green Bay is one of those situations where I would pick Green Bay in the playoffs if they had the home field. I would pick them if they had the home field. I honestly would. I would pick them if they had the home field advantage. But the reason why I'm still saying Philly is because I love Vic Fangio, what he does with that defense, the way he schemes, the way he can disguise stuff, the way he can make you think one thing and then does a completely different thing. Vic Fangio is still, in my opinion, one of the more brilliant minds in the league. And I don't know, that offense, you know what I'm saying? They haven't even played. I mean, they haven't played their A game yet either, and they're 2-0. So they're only gonna improve. They're only gonna improve as well. So I'm still looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm looking at rosters top to bottom. I still think the Eagles right now are the best team in the league. They're the best. I think they're the best team in the league, best team in the NFC. But I said preseason, Green Bay making that Michael Parsons trade it put him second because everything that's going on in the first 2 games I called, and that's exactly what's going down. Particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
We were both on the same page with that, in the aspect of that him as long as he's healthy, and if he was legit, he was going to make that whole defense better. Even like the secondary, the other linebackers, Sean Gary, the other defensive linemen, I don't disagree with you. I did say that you could argue Philly still, and I'm not going to be like, nah, you're wrong. I just think the potential for Green Bay is very scary. And I'd say if you were doing power rankings right now, I'd say you'd have 1A.
Probably. I think when you look at the sheer way Green Bay's won both of those games, if you're looking at power ranking, you probably would put them ahead of Philly right now, just in terms of how they've won their first 2 games so far. Yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking about Green Bay and Philly, to me, ceiling wise, are 1A, 1B in terms of scariest teams. In my opinion, definitely scariest teams in the entire league. You look at a team if you want to talk about all of football, Baltimore ceiling is still right there with them. Buffalo is right there with them. So I mean, they're definitely, as far as ceilings are concerned, and what the full potential is. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue and say Green Bay isn't up there, because I pretty much been on the bandwagon as far as what they can do after they acquired Michael Parsons.
I felt they were still going to be a possible deep playoff contender even before Parsons. I think everybody
had a shot. Oh yeah, I agree. I think they had a shot. I agree.
Everybody just abandoned Jordan Love because he was injured all year last year, and he had a not a great year, but a year. And everybody forgot how talented he was and is. And so just the missing of them was just really funny. It's like when it's kind of funny to watch Cam Newton completely do a 180 now. Right before, when they traded for Parsons, it's that doesn't make him a Super Bowl contender. And now it's woo, ah.
Well, that was Jalen. Let's go.
Yeah, that was Jalen Walker.
Boy, let's go.
Where's he from?
Oh, he's from that U with GA.
Yeah, we go.
Oh, Leonard Floyd got one too, by the way.
Yeah,
I think that's 3 already tonight.
That's 3 already tonight. I told my homeboy, if they really thought they was about to just run over Atlanta tonight, they were sadly mistaken.
You gotta get rid of that ball, JJ.
They're gonna knock your ass out every time. I love it. I like this. I like how aggressive Coach Morris is on defense right now.
I mean, you got the athletes on that side of the ball. Ain't no need to be passive. Let him go. Got him again.
Got his ass again.
Got him again.
All right, block the field goal. Let's see what's gonna happen. Then we go into the next segment.
Good Lord.
Okay, it's good. We still up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. We with a team like Minnesota, when you go to Minnesota, you have to score touchdowns. You have to score touchdowns.
Yeah, we got.
But I'm loving what I'm seeing from the front 7 so far. This pass rush is dangerous.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Going to go with Baltimore. I'll go with Baltimore simply because the offense.
I don't. That they crossed my mind with just how they played against Buffalo. Buffalo is, Buffalo's up there too. So I don't think that's a bad loss. I think you just lost to another, you
lost to another really good team.
Yeah, and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. There's no shame. I mean, there's no shame in that. But the thing that I think that always makes me recoil when it comes to Baltimore, it is their playoff failures. Yeah. That bias just kind of sticks in me. I'm not gonna lie. So I always yeah, they are the best team in the league, but they're gonna fumble the ball away in the playoffs anyway. So yeah. But yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another segment. Now, there's a lot of guys who's been talking about this next player that we're going to speak of. I know that Stuff About Sports, they said that this guy was buns. And I thought that he was going to do pretty good when he first got into the league. But although they have made a lot of key additions, they have brought him in some star receivers. They have rebuilt that offensive line. They've rebuilt the running game. That defense is pretty good. It has not been good for the former number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, right now. He has been terrible these last 2 weeks. 52 overthrows as of last week. That's not including what he did this week. 52 overthrows. And y'all know my favorite saying. At this point, he can overthrow Castro back in his prime if he keep doing that.
That's a great line.
So I got to ask y'all this, man. What is going on? Is he playing too much hero ball? Is he just buns? Or does the Chicago Bears need to consider doing what the Arizona Cardinals did one year when they brought in Josh Rosen one year as the number 1 overall pick, and then not Caleb Williams, but Kyler Murray came out the very next year. Do they need to just use him especially as a no, I'm just asking.
I feel you, but no, I know you asked, and I'm gonna just go ahead and answer it. No, the reason why Arizona was able to do that, we knew sitting in the dark, Stevie Wonder knew Kyler Murray was a better prospect than Josh Rosen. We all knew that. There's not a prospect coming out better than Caleb Williams. There isn't. So just no, you're not gonna do that. You don't do that. And I'll give him a little leeway. This is a new offensive system with Ben Johnson. I'll give him a little leeway. However, and it's just been 2 games, so I'll give him a little pass. But if we're like 8, 9, 10 games in the season and you're still inconsistent, then that gives me cause to pause. Because now it's like, Ben Johnson, you were brought here to get the best out of him. Granted, I know it's the first season, but you're good enough. You're good enough offensive mind to take a talent like him and help him realize his potential in this style of offense. So if we get later on in the season and you playing like this, it's a little bit of a red flag. Like I said, I want to give it grace because it is the first year under Ben Johnson. But I tell you what, Caleb Williams, you had quite a bit of hype. So I'm just saying.
They have the Dallas Cowboys next week. It doesn't get easy. They got Dallas next week. Now, Dallas's defense is nowhere near what Detroit's is. So he looks terrible. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I think in college I think what's his face on YouTube or whatever, the former Packers Falcons backup quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, Baker.
I think his analysis was spot on, and he's not the first guy. I was going to ask for a whole segment on Caleb Williams during the show, and I just didn't have time to put it together. But if you look at his film, his mechanics are terrible. He has no fluidity in his hips. He can't. His shoulders don't match where his feet are. Like, he is all over the place. There is no question that physically he is one of the most gifted quarterbacks to walk onto a field. But his mechanics are terrible. His accuracy is terrible. His ability to read and make reads and take checkdowns are terrible, and see like where a receiver is going to sit down in a zone. Like, it's bad. I'm just going to say it's bad. And the only reason he's getting away with a lot of these things is because of the plays that he can make with his feet. But he is I'm going to put it this way. He's basically Shedeur Sanders, but a little more talented physically. If you look at how they are scouted, put Shedeur Sanders in USC with that talent around him. Tell me he doesn't do similar to what Caleb Williams does in college.
I think he won more games. Shedeur won more games his senior year than Caleb, I believe.
That's fair, and that might have been. I don't know, man. I thought the Bears finally did it. Now Ben Johnson, and maybe this kid can't run Ben Johnson's offense, but if you can't run Ben Johnson's offense, dude, like I don't know what to tell you. Like that's bad. Like we're talking about Jared Goff. Now I know Jared Goff is a former number 1 overall pick and everything like that. Like let's don't mistake. Let's not act like Jared Goff was picked in the 7th round. Like he was a number 1 overall pick. You know, legit coming out of college. Everybody's just kind of crapped on him since he left the Rams and everything like that. But everybody's slowly turned around on him since he got to Detroit. But if Jared Goff can run Ben Johnson offense and Caleb Williams can't, that says a lot more about Caleb Williams than it does about Jared Goff.
Especially if you ran the air raid in college. Air raid is one of the more complicated playbooks in college. The air raid that's Lincoln Riley's offense.
Yeah. So I'm not willing to say completely yet that he stinks and I'd move on. But dude, we're getting scary close, and it's quick. Like this is this is quick. I don't think I'd ever want to give up on a 1st-round quarterback this quick. But I don't know. He stinks right now. I'll just say that he stinks.
BRF.
I see. Here's my thing. It's like if you want to look at it like as far as like this year's draft is concerned, the only one I'm considering doing it for is Garrett Nussmeier. That's it. He's the only one I consider coming out of this draft. Garrett Nussmeier is the only one I'd want if I'm Chicago. But the question is, are you going to be that bad? Are you going to? Because it's like Chicago's just one of those teams that strike me as like they're going to be like middle of the pack. They're going to win some games, ain't got no business winning. So I don't think they're going to be like bad enough to warrant like, drafting a Garrett Nussmeier in the top 5. I don't think they're going to be that low.
Well, here's the thing. So this is their schedule. So next week they got Dallas and the Raiders. And the Raiders don't look like a pushover. And they got Washington. They got New Orleans. New Orleans, for everybody thought they were going to kind of stink. They're not a pushover. I'll just say that. Then they got Cincinnati. So now Burrow's out. So that's an easier win. But, their backup quarterback isn't terrible. Then they got the Giants, then Minnesota, then Pittsburgh, then Philly, then Green Bay. Then they got an easy one in Cleveland. Then it's Green Bay. Then it's San Francisco. Then it's Detroit. Like,
now that you read the schedule, ugh.
That's
a murderous road schedule.
That's like a 4 to 5 win the way they're playing now.
I think they're honestly. You put the schedule like that. If he's playing like this, they're lucky if they get 4. Now that you put it like that,
yeah.
And you got to ask yourself this: if you look, I'm gonna just be real. Let's just keep it all the way above. If you are Chicago right now, and I just got to ask this question: you bought all of these players in. You brought Ben Johnson in. You brought the offensive line in. You added Joe Tooney. You have receivers galore. Yeah. You have receivers galore. You have Roman Aduze. Did they draft Luther Burden?
They drafted Luther Burden.
And then you drafted Luther Burden. You have DJ Moore.
They drafted Colston Loveland too to go with Cole Kmet. So they got weapons.
So you got to point out that DJ Moore was at least 1,000-yard wide receiver every single year, and he had shit quarterbacks in Carolina until Caleb Williams.
So yeah, you gotta ask yourself this: if you're Chicago, if you lose to the point where you end up with a number 1 or number 2 overall pick, do you draft Drew Allar if he's that damn terrible?
I draft Garrett Nussmeier.
Excuse me, Drew Allar or Greg Nussmeier if you end up with a number 1 overall pick. Because the way he's playing, it is bad. It's bad. We've seen some things like this before, but this is bad. Overthrow after overthrow, inaccuracy, hero ball. You've seen it, but this is a whole nother level. Which leads me to my next question. I have to ask this question before we go into the next segment. Does the NFL have a quarterback development problem at this point? Because we've seen way too many times at this point where, look, let's just keep it all the way a buck. We saw how Baker Mayfield was treated. He goes somewhere else, gets some development. Now he goes to Tampa. He probably can have an MVP season at this point. You see Daniel Jones. He leaves from New York, goes to Indianapolis. Now he's 2-0. Had a great drive, had a great last second drive. You saw what's the other guy's name? I'm slipping over my words at this point. Sorry, this normally doesn't happen. There you had Sam Darnold, goes to Minnesota, finally gets some structure, able to make the playoffs. Now he's looking amazing out there in Seattle. Is it really a quarterback problem, or do we have a quarterback development problem? Because it's like everybody who's set, they're good. Lamar, he's set, he's good. Patrick, set, he's good.
It's Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, he's set. He's
Aaron
good.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, he's set. Yes. My bad. Shit.
You're good.
My fault. The show must go on.
But this is the point that I've made. This is the thing with the Patriots last year and Drake May, which made me annoyed. Just sit him. Just let him learn. And look, there's only like generational talented quarterbacks that can come in and succeed right away. Everybody.
Billy Bowman just picked that.
Huh?
Billy Bowman just got a pick.
Yeah, I just saw it. That's why I said yeah.
Look, this is if I'm Ben Johnson, I sit him right now. I'll just be blunt. I sit him.
And Tyson Bagent is not a bad quarterback. We saw what he could do when they were going between him and Justin Fields. He can play a little bit.
There's a rumor right now. There's rumors going around that Caleb Williams does not put the work in. And there's some of the players on the team want whatever his face is, the backup to play.
Bagent?
Yeah. That they want the backup to play. Because, I mean, we've seen already skill position players get visibly frustrated with Caleb Williams. You know. So I'm
I don't understand. Look, you know me, man. I'm not for humble pie. I'm not for that. You know why? But if you keep coming in and you ain't prepared, I'm gonna sit your ass down. Don't care how much money we got invested in you. If you're not prepared, you will be on that bench. In the great words of Bobby, you know what coach that I would have loved to have played for? If I played basketball, it will surprise the hell out of you. If I were a basketball player going into college back in the day, I would have played for Bobby Knight or Coach John Thompson. I played for them. I know I'm going to graduate, number one, because they're going to make sure my ass is going to class. And guess what? There's a good air of humility and cockiness that you have to have as a player. There's an air of humility and cockiness you have to have. You have to have ego, but it's at the same time, you have to be, like Warren Moon says, quarterback. People don't like hearing that word, but I hate it as well. But quarterback is a humble position. It will humble your ass. It will humble you quick. You go out there unprepared to get sacked 9 times if you want to, you lose your damn job. It will humble you. So when you go out there and you're not preparing and you just love what football brings to you, you're playing the quarterback position, you're going to be NFL all right, not for long. And that's the bottom line. The quarterback, I know people don't like hearing this word. It is a humble position. You have to have your head on a swivel when you're playing the quarterback position because, like my father say, the game don't love nobody. The game don't love nobody. And if he's really not out there preparing and getting his ducks in a row and showing receivers and showing these that because at the end of the day, they said this during the Colorado game. At the end of the day, the franchise may pick you, but the players select you. The franchise may pick you, but the players select you. And if you're not selected by those men in that locker room, they look back at you and they know you're unprepared, they're going to get your ass up out of there. So if he's not doing that and he's not preparing the way he should, then guess what? The best motivator in the great words of Bobby Knight is the bench. That's the greatest motivator that you could possibly get is the bench. And guess what? If you're not prepared, that's where you should be. Hey, look, let's just be clear. Football is a violent sport. You can get killed out there. You can die out there. We've seen broken arms. We've seen broken necks. We've seen a little bit of everything. We saw Ryan Shazier. We saw Keith Rivers. You can die out there. You can get seriously hurt on that field. And it especially is bad when your quarterback is unprepared. And unlike Michael Vick, who was very, very ahead of his time, you just can't go out there unprepared and say, hey, even if I'm unprepared, I can still go for at least 100 yards rushing. I'm at least going to go do that, even if I'm unprepared.
Breaking news from the world of the NFL. Jadeveon Clowney is a Cowboy.
Decent signing.
Yeah. Help out that defense.
Decent signing. Decent. He made a Pro Bowl not too long ago. You know, he helped that Baltimore defense back in 2023 when Lamar won the MVP. He helped them get to the he was one of the main pass rushers on that team. So guess what? Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, if he's not preparing the way he should, get him up out of there. I mean, put him on the bench. Sometimes, look, like I said, I hate the whole humble pie situation. I don't like humble pie. But sometimes you have to take a step back in order to move forward 5. And if you're not prepared as a quarterback and everybody knows you're not prepared and you just going out here doing all this other stuff and stuff like that, then guess what? You need to be on the bench. You don't need to be out here. If you're not prepared, then you don't need to be. If you fail to prepare, then you're prepared to fail. And if you're prepared to fail, then guess what? The team fails. It's not like any other position out there. If you're prepared to fail as a wide receiver, then guess what? They can just go routes with you every single play. And guess what? Hey, it is what it is. But if you are, as a quarterback, not prepared, you can get somebody seriously hurt, if not yourself as well. And especially if those veterans don't have your back. Hell, y'all see any given Sunday the difference between when they had Willie Beeman's back and when they didn't have it? Like I stated, the franchise may pick you, the players select you. So, anybody want to add anything to that?
Yeah. No, like I said, I agree. I would bench him right now. He needs to cool his ass off. Like he needs. I know everybody like when you criticize this, but maybe he needs to stop going to go get his custom nails painted, and he needs to spend more time in the playbook. I'll just be honest. Like I know everybody got all mad, like, oh my God, somebody's criticizing him for his painted nails. Yes, at this point now, I think it's a valid criticism.
You know who he shared their takes with, right?
Yeah, Angel Reese. Like, bro.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I really don't give a damn about his nails. He just ain't playing. I don't want to use anything as like he's focusing on this and da 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 da. At the end of the day, you either playing well or you're not playing well.
I'm just saying, look, don't get me wrong. I know I'm being a dick right now, but I'm just saying, like, maybe. I'm also like, my favorite quarterback had the Bieber cut for a while, so let's not act like I'm not okay with like pretty boy things. So I'm just saying, like, maybe your priorities should be a little bit less on how pretty your nails are, and you should maybe get in the playbook. If you're playing well, dude, you do spirit fingers all day long. I don't care. But right now, you're opening the way you're playing. You're going to open yourself up to, well, me. So
he said, "Well, me."
Yeah. So I just like it, and you're going to get it. So like, and you deserve it. So, do your thing. Like go paint your nails. But you better be playing like the number one overall quarterback that you supposedly are.
Yeah, you better, cause shit, they will get your. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna just be real. They will get your ass up out of there.
And Chicago will turn on him in 2 seconds if this keeps going on. Like they will call for his head. It'll be done.
You saw how quick they turned on Mitchell Trubisky, and he led them to the playoff. He led them to the playoff. So, yeah, hey, hey, in the great words of Anita Baker, you better watch yourself. You fall and hurt yourself. So, hey, look, let's switch gears. Let's take a step back and go to college football, man. Look, so many great games this past Saturday, man. One of the main ones being in Rocky Top. That thriller between my Georgia Bulldogs and Tennessee, man. Not going to lie, Joey Alar is scary. He is scary. I was scared. Look, when he first, can't even lie, when he first got that ball and marched down the field and scored in less than 2 minutes, I said, this is going to be a long day. I said, this would be a long-ass day right here. He came out there in the no-huddle offense and marched right down that damn field in less than 2 minutes. I looked at my best friends, and we was in there watching the game, and I said, this is going to be a long-ass day right here. This going to be one of them, what I like to call a heart attack game. But to Gunnar Stockton's credit and UGA's credit, they was able to come out on top. They was able to get a lot of things done. They gave him a lot of different looks at the end of the day, and we were able to come out with the win. So, what are your thoughts on the thriller in Rocky Top at this point, man? Did the Dogs put the nation on notice, or do we have to wait until 2 weeks when we play Alabama?
Alabama is always the Alabama for me is always that measuring stick game. Because I mean it's Alabama. I mean exclude the first of the 2 national championships that we won when we beat them in when we beat them in Indy. We in the regular season we can't beat them to save our lives. So I'm gonna need them to get a regular season win on Bama. Now to analyze that game, Gunnar Stockton, I think, shut a lot of naysayers up, especially after that Austin Peay game, where he was just like, I don't know if it was just like the offense just wasn't clicking like it needed to, and just really didn't show himself. People already talking about put Ryan Puglisi in, which fans love to do that. Everybody's favorite player on the team is the backup quarterback. But Gunnar Stockton shut a lot of people up with his performance. 23-31, 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he shut a lot of people up. His poise, because let me tell you something. Me being a Georgia fan, Champ being a Georgia fan, well, any college football fans with some common sense and some knowledge of the game, Neyland Stadium is a different beast. There's levels to this when it comes to home field advantage. And Neyland Stadium is one of those places. I mean, that place can sit 100,000. I think at one point I was looking at the game, 125, 126 sound level, the decibels, like insane. And the fact that they went down 21-7, and for them to come back the way they did, whether it was Gunnar Stockton, whether it was Nathan Frazier, whether it was Zachariah Branch, whether it was Lawson Lucky, Oscar Delk made some big plays. For me, that was a collective effort. That was a collective effort as far as the Georgia Bulldogs were concerned. The veterans on that squad, knowing what it meant to basically run the table and go undefeated against Tennessee for their careers. That was a gutsy performance. I think they did put the nation on notice a little bit because at the end of the day, I think they made the nation recognize it's still Georgia. We might not be what we were, so Georgia might not be what they were in 22 and 23, but it's still Georgia. And basically it's like if they can still do it to you if they have to do it to you. And Tennessee, Tennessee was thinking like, damn, they got another one. Good Lord, Atlanta destroying that offensive line right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Georgia, I think Georgia just reminded people who they are as a team, as a university, as still one of the preeminent powerhouses in college football. They reminded people of that because Tennessee fans were like, "Oh, we finally gonna get them this year. We finally gonna get them this year." And the fact that they had them down 21-7 and they still couldn't get it done. I mean, that's a testament of Kirby Smart. That's just a testament of how he keeps his men poised under pressure like that. So they put him on notice a little bit. They put the nation on notice a little bit. But I think 2 weeks when they finally get Alabama and Georgia is going to be the real Tennessee's a really good win. But I seriously think if Georgia beats Alabama in 2 weeks, that could be one of those games that could set them up for the rest of the season to go on a major run, because beating Alabama could give them all the confidence in the world to just not stop from this point on. So I think they're circling Alabama on the calendar as far as the game that could really propel them into the stratosphere as far as not only getting into the college football playoff, but getting but making noise and trying to win another national championship. Tennessee is coming. Joey Aguilar, they won that trade. With him and Nico Iamaleava. Nico, how you say his name? Nico Iamaleava. They won that trade.
I need to just go away.
No, Nico 0-3.
Yeah.
Cause we were talking about it in the chat, and I think shout out to Broad. He brought up the fact that UCLA was 0-3, and I was like, bro, UCLA could be 2-1, 3-0. I'm still taking Joey Aguilar over Nico Iamaleava. I'm still gonna take him because he shows more in terms of sheer pure quarterback play. He shows more. He's more poised in the pocket. He makes better decisions. His arm strength is deep ball is crazy. And boy, Tyler Brazell, good God Almighty, that I don't know what it is. This generation of talented wide receivers, but good God, that boy is good. So Tennessee, just because they lost that game does not mean I don't like their future. I love the future for the Tennessee Volunteers. They got one. They have a future. But shout out to Georgia for getting that win. But yeah, for me, it's Alabama is the game for me that could really set if they take this Tennessee win and turn it into Alabama and they beat them as well, that could really set them up for the rest of the year.
Flash.
I mean, I think if we go back to our college football, I think I thought Georgia was still the best team. Is this a recovery now for Alabama? I mean, for the SEC, if you want to travel for a rebound game, you travel to Wisconsin, unfortunately. Wisconsin is just not there yet. They still got a long way to go. But yeah, do I think that the Bulldogs put the nations on notice? But yeah, I think Tennessee has been a rising rising college, whatever, university for the last handful of years. They're slowly kind of getting back to, they're going to be one of the top teams in the country. So I think it's the Bulldogs. I honestly, right now, if the Bulldogs and Georgia go head to head, I don't think it's. I think it'll still be close because it's a rivalry game. It always is for the most part. Both teams are competent, but I think the Bulldogs are just way better right now. That may change, but right now I think they're just way better.
Okay. Look, I really think that people need to be talking about DeAndre Stockton a hell of a lot more. I know that everybody, the talk of the SEC with the beginning of the season was Arch. That was the talk of the time. And he looked fucking terrible yesterday.
What do you think I didn't see the game. Do you think he's hurt?
I don't know if he's hurt or
Arch Manning. Arch Manning. I think he's hurt.
I think he's hurt because he didn't play this poorly last year.
And it was bad. It was bad.
I don't get it. Like but like if you again, I didn't see the highlights for this weekend's game, but I'm curious to look at his delivery again. Because if his delivery is anywhere bad as it was week one, then I think he's got a shoulder injury. I really do.
I mean, if he's hurt, then I think it's the coach's decision. You need to get him out of there. So, I mean,
they showed a close up on him. They showed a close up of him in the game where he was making one of his throws and he winced. Like you could see his face. He's playing hurt.
I think he's got a shoulder injury because, there were moments last year where you thought, well, do we play Arch or do we play
Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, like there was weeks of like, oh man, do we throw Arch in there? And now he looks like he can't even throw a ball.
Hey, you saw it with his uncles. A Manning without his arm is a vulnerable Manning.
Like he got booed today.
Yeah, he got booed. Yeah, it was bad. And the thing is, they were playing UTEP. That was I know. Here's the thing, and I say this on my TikTok a lot. You know, they always say you can tell a lot about a person when they're under adversity. You can tell a lot about somebody as well when you have a level of comfort in your situation, because you knew during that game against UTEP he was going to have a clean jersey. Number one, that offensive line, Texas offensive line, was going to dominate the line of scrimmage. So you was going to have time to how did Warren Sapp say, grab, play action that thing, have a cup of tea, set it down, look, have a cup of tea. You knew you was going to have that type of time. So for you not to show up when you have that type of time, it's kind of like, damn, are you hurt or do you just not have it? Or is Ryan Clark right at a certain point? It's like, damn, you looking kind of, it's a lot of growing pains, and you've been sitting behind someone for the last 2 years. I mean, you got to ask yourself that, because he was looking pretty bad. But back to Gunner, I will say, Gunner, I'm glad Coach Bobo, I will say, has unleashed the offense. He unleashed the offense. Like, stop running all this conservative stuff and let him cook.
I'm reading through an article right now. Like,
yeah, it was pretty bad, man. He played UTEP. But as far as Gunner, I really think he should be held higher in higher regard in the SEC. I think him and Joey Aguilar is A 1 and 1A in the SEC. I really think that's the case.
There's an article from the New York Times asking, is Arch Manning really grimacing on every throw? And we watched the footage, but of course it's behind a paywall, so I can't.
Hey. So yeah, you got to ask yourself a lot of questions about him. It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly to the masterpiece.
I don't know. I something ain't right. I'll just put it that way. Something's just not right. So I like, but maybe he's not wincing. Maybe he's just making Manning face. Manning face is a thing. It is. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. He just doesn't look right. So they got to figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot to be desired. Anything y'all want to add to the Rocky Top thriller?
No, I'm pretty much cashed on that.
No.
All right. Has Alabama truly rebounded after the loss to Florida State?
We'll know in 2 weeks. We'll know in 2 weeks. We'll know when they play Georgia. We'll know when they play Georgia.
I don't take a trip up to Madison here, our Madison, as a. I had the game on. I was doing some cleaning and stuff like that. I looked up and I'm like, oh, this game's over. And I expected that too. So Wisconsin's just not there yet as a university. So I don't think you can really tell from that game. As in a rebound game to gain some confidence, sure, you send your team up here to Wisconsin, you're an SEC team up here. So, but BRS right. We'll see in a couple weeks.
Got to ask you pipe bomb question. Pipe bomb. Year after next, is Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith the Julio Jones and AJ Green of that draft class?
Absolutely. It's crazy. It's crazy how talented they already are, but the trajectory that they're both on. Yes. I think they're both. It's crazy to say as talented as Jeremiah Smith is, Ryan Williams is almost right there with him in terms of talent, which is frightening to say. So I don't even think it's a question. When they both come out, yeah, it's a Julio Jones, AJ Green type of situation.
Fun fact, it wasn't supposed to be Julio Jones that we got, right?
They wanted it. They wanted AJ.
They wanted AJ Green, but Cincinnati said, hell no, we're not trading. But Cleveland did, and the rest was history. So yeah, it was supposed to be AJ Green. And that would have been a perfect marriage too. AJ Green in the state of Georgia after being drafted, after being from UGA. So that would have been a perfect marriage.
It would have been a perfect marriage, but they made the right choice with Julio Jones. They made the right choice. Him and Matt Ryan was one of the greatest duos of the 21st century. Just insane.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the test is going. I think the test for UGA and Alabama comes in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
I think both of us are going to be truly tested, because it's going to be. Everybody's going to be, the world will be watching in 2 weeks, and we needed this bye week. I think we needed that bye week after that thriller that we just had in Rocky Top, and thankfully, we haven't lost a home game in almost 6 years.
We haven't lost a home game since Alabama.
So yeah, we haven't lost a home game since Alabama. So they're coming back to Alabama. We're coming back to Georgia this year, right?
Yeah, it's in Athens.
Yeah, so the friendly confines. Hey, friendly confines.
I need to reach whoever does the equipment. Somebody need to get me through to them. They need to black that game out. They need to black that game out. I would love to see them. And it was funny because I know one of those games. I don't know if it was the same game, but they blacked out that game too, and Alabama just ran them out the building. But I would bring it back. I would bring the black jerseys back.
Oh man, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see. Hey man, that damn mascot for the Indianapolis Colts funny as hell.
I think he's the best mascot in football.
Oh yeah, dude. Have you seen him? Have you ever seen those videos of the Pee Wee football players versus the mascots?
Yes.
Dude.
Dude shows no mercy on them kids, man.
Dude, I pee myself laughing. One, and then two, I want to don a mascot so I can just run through a sea of children like that, just for fun. It looks so fun. And it's funny, and it's lighthearted, and it's great. But God Almighty, is that fun? It's
between those videos and then the videos where he just running around the stadium and just randomly pieing people in the face.
Dude. He is taken over from the Philly Fanatic as the best mascot that we have.
Yeah. I think he is the best mascot in sports. I agree.
He is the best mascot in sports. Like he really is.
On the men's side, I think he is the best mascot. On the women's side, it has to be Ella the Elephant from the New York Liberty.
I don't know much about that New York. I don't know about that one. There's a couple in I think there's a couple in hockey that are pretty good, but he's got the cake for the best mascot. He is funny.
Yeah, you got Blue. I mean, I think you got honestly, if you want to talk about the Braves and the Falcons, Blooper and Freddie Falcon. Oh my gosh, Blooper! Oh my gosh, whoever runs Blooper's X account deserves a raise.
Really?
Just flat. I'm telling you, whoever runs Blooper's X account deserves a flat out raise because some of the engages he gets in with fans. Oh my gosh, especially Mets fans. Oh my gosh. He makes a living of roasting and destroying Mets fans. I think it's the greatest thing ever. Blooper, the Braves mascot is freaking amazing.
That's some of the best. Like, if you can get somebody that can run a good social media account for your company and do it in a snarky, but you don't have to be offensive about it, but in a snarky and really intelligent way, that's gold. That's so gold.
Yes, blooper. Who, like I said, whoever's the PR on his X account deserves like all the flowers. Like it is like his and like some of his quotes, like his quote tweets. Like I say, it's mainly like the NL East, like the NL East rivals. Like if they'll come out and say something and then he'll quote tweet it and then just absolutely destroy him. I just think it's like the funniest thing ever.
Yes.
Hey man, look. Mascots are off the front. Let's not forget about the Phoenix Suns gorilla. That shit used to be funny.
Yeah, he's gonna
iconic, bro.
But he was he wasn't known for the funny stuff. He was more known for like the trampoline dunks.
Your trampoline dunks. That shit was funny though.
Yeah, it was.
That shit was funny. I could be no damn mascot because I ain't finna fall off no scenes. I ain't finna jump off no beams. I ain't finna repair nothing. I'll be screaming like hell.
No. I think I was 18, 19, 20-some-year-old when I was in really good shape and had flexibility in my knees and hips. I think that would have been fun to do. That would have been something fun.
Yeah, back then that would have been fun to do. Now, hell no.
I would have hated being in the thing, in the uniform or whatever, or the costume, because I sweat like a pig. So I just been like, but like, I used to be a mascot, man. I was the Chuck E. Cheese rat one time. So at one point in my life, so yeah, I used to be the Chuck E. Cheese rat when I was young. If you could imagine this big ass high school offensive lineman that boxes in a damn what's the name. Dude, that is the last thing I expected to come out of your mouth right now.
I used to be the Chuck E. Cheese rat. That was the funniest shit.
That is hilarious. That is awesome.
They saw. I'm like 6 feet. I was 6 feet when I was in high school. So I was like, hey man, we need a. I said, hey, I came and got a job to make the pizzas. He was like, no, we need a rat. I'm like,
we don't want you anywhere near the kitchen, but we got this.
But you made the kids laugh. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I would hit. Back then the Soldier Boy was pretty good. So you hit the Soldier Boy and you hit the
Okay,
I can see Champ doing the Soldier Boy dance in the costume now.
Out of all three of us, if nobody knew any of us, and just listen to the podcast, and that's all they knew of us, and the question was, who would be the one you would think would be a former mascot in high school? Who would it have been out of the three of us?
Probably you.
No, the fact that Champ was a Chuck E. Cheese mascot.
That was Chuck E. Cheese rat. So I used to go around there, hit the floor. It only used to happen to a birthday party. So all I had to put on that damn suit to do a birthday party. on Saturday. So I used to go out there, put on that damn costume. We need you to come into work today. Make sure you can do your thing. And I used to go out there, put on that damn costume, hit the soldier boy, do the stanky leg, whatever new dance. I used to have to learn the new dances during the week because no,
it's better. This is getting so bad. I can just see Dan and Champ in front of his mirror, like,
yeah, because I ain't got no damn rhythm. I'm just gonna be real with you. Shit.
Doing the whip and the nay.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm gonna start calling you. Do it instead of.
I'll never forget this girl, Stephanie. She actually showed me how to do, because like I said, I'm from the South, but it wasn't until I became like a junior that I still started listening to Southern rap. I was a New York rap type of guy. So I really didn't. Damn!
I got another one. Oh, that's the second pick of the game.
Damn!
Y'all ahead of me, bro. God dang it.
This Falcon defense looks pretty legit.
Oh, no.
There you go. All right, Billy.
Wow. Oh, it's incomplete.
It's incomplete.
Oh.
Sorry, we're ahead. We are ahead of you. Sorry.
Yeah, we are ahead of you. So yeah.
They
still got the punt. They still got the punt.
Dude, instead of calling you Champ, I'm gonna start calling you Cheese.
At one point, that was the name they used to do that. Them girls in the kitchen used to do it to mess with my ass.
They call you Cheese?
The big cheese.
Big cheese.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
No, one girl in there, she didn't know that like I said, when I was in high school, I used to bodybuild and do a lot of shit, right? So when I used to come into work and I knew I had to be the rat, I used to wear you think these kids right now is weird as hell wearing them damn, well, you know about it, BRF, in our community. They wear these old long ass t-shirt, them Pooh Shiesty, man. I showed up to work in the middle of summer. I had just got from boxing practice, right? So I showed up to work. I showed up to work in a damn sweatsuit, in a gray sweatsuit on. So I'm waiting to put the costume on.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting right there in the corner. It's like they called me by my real name or whatever. Hey, you got to go put the rat suit on. I'm like, oh, all right. So I take off this shit, and I remember this girl looked at me like, damn, I didn't know you were that big. So I take off the damn sweatshirt. I'm already sweating like hell before I take the damn sweatshirt off. So I'm taking the shit off. So she's like, damn, I didn't know you that damn big. Jesus Christ. Because I used to wear a lot of sweatsuits.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Did anybody at that boxing gym that you trained at know that you were the cheese rat at Chuck E. Cheese?
One person did, and he messed with me right before a match.
I got figured.
He didn't know. Oh my gosh. No, that motherfucker started calling me the Rat King. Remember the Rat King?
No, that is fantastic. That is.
He kind of got wind that I was the rat at Chuck E. Cheese, so he started calling me the Rat King. So. And he told me, he said, I knew that was your ass in that costume, but that weird ass walk you used to do when you had that sweatsuit on. So
that is a great story. I used to say thank you for the bottom of my heart for telling me that story. That is awesome.
That was yeah, I was real young, man. It was fun doing it, man. The kids,
I'm sure it was. It's a great story. I love great stories. Like, and I love random things that people will like, yeah, I used to do this. And you're just like,
yeah, I was the Chuck E. Cheese rat. That was the funniest thing. And one of the guys at the boxing gym, he figured it out. He was like, he said, because I knew that old funny ass walk he was doing right after practice. And I brought my kids in there. Like, what the hell is he doing in here? But he's like, what the hell is he doing in here?
Please, nobody noticed me. Yeah.
No, and I walked to I said, I knew something was up. He said, because you walked to the back in the kitchen and I never seen you again. He said, you walked to the back, I never seen your ass again. He's like, I'm looking all over for this guy. And then he said, that little funny ass, he said, that damn rat came out and he walking funny. I'm like, that's his ass. That's his ass. So Monday when I show up, because that was on a Friday, his ass blurted out, "Oh, guys, here comes the Rat King." You know, like, what the and I'm like, and I played it dumb. Like, what the hell you talking about? He said, "Don't act dumb in front of me. I can't see you in that big ass rat suit that you had on at that damn at Showbiz. We seen it." So that's one of the little funny stories, little funny stories of the period of my life. But on back to college football, is Ohio State still the best team in college football?
I think you have to. I think by default, yes. But I think you have to by default. But trying to I think the new rank is coming out. I think they had LSU at 3. How, I don't know, but I do like what I'm seeing from them so far. Of course, you got Georgia. I'm sure who else is there. I do like the rebound. I do like the rebound from Alabama, even though I like that they're gaining some confidence back. But I think right now, oh my God,
he got damn near 100 yards already.
I think default. I think you have to say Ohio State. Ohio State's the best team in the country. I don't know. It's having the pedigree and just having that track record as far as what they did last year. Even though a lot of the players are gone, you have to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. With Ryan Day finally getting himself over that hump and winning the championship, you kind of have to give them the You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm gonna say right now, yes, Ohio State is still the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Is Ryan Day the new Kirby Smart? Well, the Big Ten's version of Kirby Smart.
If he wins another one,
yeah, he's got to win another one.
He's got to win another one. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely, if you want to say best coach in the conference, yeah. If you want to say best coach in the conference currently, yes, easy. But to really be to really be in that tier, to be in that upper echelon, he needs to get another one.
Does he have to beat Michigan this year in order to be considered on that echelon?
I mean, if he wins a title, then I don't think it matters. But
if he wins a title, it don't matter. But for his personal resume, he needs to get that notch under his belt.
Only 2 coaches only beat Michigan once, and that was him and Jim Tressel. So
and the fact that they both got national championships.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy, how, and he beat one of the greatest. Jim Tressel beat one of the greatest teams of all time, 2002 Miami Hurricanes.
Yep,
one of the greatest teams of all time. So when you put that into perspective, that just goes to show you how great of a coach that he was. It's a shame that he got out. It's a shame that how some of the coaches got ousted back in those days because, of autographs or stuff like that, when nowadays that wouldn't have blinked an eye. He got ousted because of autographs, a series of things with Maurice Claret, and it's just like, damn, I wonder how it would have turned out if he would have been a coach today. Because Jim Tressel was one hell of a coach. He was a hell of a recruiter.
Yeah,
I mean, Beanie Wells and Terrell Pryor. That was I thought he was going to win at least one national championship with those guys, but it's just unfortunate. So let's switch gears, man. Let's go from big time, small time comeback. Let's go from small comeback to huge comeback. Hand-to-hand comeback. What are you guys' thoughts on the Canelo Alvarez fight versus Bud Crawford? I'm going to go first in this one. I really think that Bud Crawford, he watched that Floyd Mayweather fight. I'd never forget when Floyd Mayweather came out there and embarrassed Canelo Alvarez in that fight that he had when he was in his youth. I truly believe that he watched that fight because he was hitting Canelo at will. He was hitting him at will. And he was taking some of his best shots. Usually with Canelo, you can't take his best shots. Triple G, he couldn't take his best shots. but he was taking some of his best shot and delivering some as well. In fact, towards the end of the fight, I remember, look, let's just put it out there. We was talking to each other during the fight. And I never forget, we were saying that, Bud need to watch the hell out because he was getting a little bit too cocky, closing in on that power the way he was. Like, you better back up a little bit. But he kept coming.
You're right in there. I think you said it too, and I thought it, but you said it, and that Canelo looks stiff, almost the first like probably 3-4 rounds, like kind of looked disinterested, like he wasn't all like focused. You're right. It looked very much like the Floyd fight, and I'm sure he did. I'm sure Bud did watch that fight because I pointed out during the fight that I thought that Bud's defense and counterpunching was very similar to how Floyd fought. The only difference is like Floyd always, kind of did the chin tuck thing,
the shoulder roll.
Thank you. And but Bud's confidence just constantly grew, and I don't know if he wasn't afraid of Canelo's power or Canelo's power wasn't like. Is there any word about like an injury that you had and that's what caused it, or did Bud just whip that ass?
Bud just whooped his ass. I'm just being real. Canelo is not a big jabber in the first place.
No, he's not.
And when you don't let your hands go against a guy like Bud Crawford, it's gonna hunt you at the end of the fight.
I'm actually surprised how poor of a jab thrower that Canelo is.
He's not a real jab thrower. He is a real good counter puncher. He's a real good, right hand uppercut power. He's a very good power puncher. And I really thought this. I think Max Kellerman, one of the greatest minds in boxing, outside of, I'll say, the late great Burt Sugar, I think Max Kellerman said it best. He said, I think that Canelo came in thinking that eventually I'm just going to be able to overpower him.
I think exactly. I think you're right. I think so too. The way he acted even during the fight,
and at times he would even be resting, and it was visible. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, the lack of urgency seemed a little weird.
Yeah, and it was not good. It was like, wow, what the hell?
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Bud. That was a great fought match on his part. Like his punching ability, his accuracy. I did think that Canelo's body shots would have more effect as the fight went on, and it did, like in the middle rounds. Mm-hmm. But then he couldn't capitalize on it, and that's to Bud's credit. His Bud's defense of his chin, instead of doing the roll that you're talking about, he was really good about keeping that glove, that non-throwing hand. He kept it, covering his chin. His defense was really, really good last night. So and by the way, I said it last night in the chat. It was so refreshing to see big time boxing, like legit big time boxing. I love UFC. I really do. I don't pay attention as much as I used to, just because I don't have the time. But I love combat sports in general. But boxing as a combat sport is one of my first loves. Like, I love boxing. And I'm an old school guy, so all this Logan Paul shit and Jake Paul stuff just drives me up a wall, especially when it's fixed. And so that kind of I'm sorry, but that last Tyson fight. I'm sorry. You can't tell me that fight wasn't fixed.
The fix was in. The fix was in.
And so I can't respect that boxing. That's not boxing. I'm just paying to see maybe see somebody get knocked out. And that's what he's banking on. And that's not boxing. I don't want to see that no more. So it was great to see big time legit boxing. And I really hope that at some point big time legit boxing makes a comeback. I think it would be really great if Netflix made it one of their things. That would be really cool if they did. This is the second time they've done like a boxing thing, and they're kind of going into the combat sport thing. They do wrestling too. So and everybody can say that wrestling pretty whatever. I'm not gonna. That's not whatever. But I would love to see more. Put on boxing on, do Saturday Night Boxing on Netflix, man.
Yeah. Look, sports has changed since the 90s, man. I remember Saturday Night Boxing on HBO, Boxing After Dark, and stuff like that. I remember seeing the up-and-coming boxers. We don't get to see them up-and-coming anymore. You get to see your boxers. I mean, the thing about Mike Tyson and some of the stars that we saw, we got a chance to see these guys when their record was light and ass. Their record was real light, and they was just up and coming. We got a chance to see them on boxing on HBO. We got to see them during that time. So
I remember watching I forgot if it was Tyson Lewis, but like young Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
I remember going, damn, that dude's got something, and you don't see that no more, and that's really sad. It'd be really cool if again, Netflix, HBO Max, or whatever. Maybe they do, and I don't have the time to see it. I know Netflix doesn't, but I would love to see it. Yeah, like a late night Saturday night boxing type thing. Yeah. It would be and get Max Kellerman on there where he belongs.
He's smart. He's very
smart. It was so nice to see him back and doing boxing stuff. That was great to see.
Yeah, that was real. That was real good, man. I think they did him dirty at ESPN, a certain person in particular, and I really believe that he was intimidated by his intelligence. Because
who did him dirty at ESPN?
We ain't gonna say no names because we might end up working for ESPN. I don't want to be held against us in the court of law. But watch First Take. Remember he used to be on First Take.
No, I know. He's really intelligent. He had some really stupid takes when it came to Tom Brady, but
everybody like I kept saying, everybody had that. Look, everybody was basing that. It was a fair assessment. Everybody was basing that off the fact that happened to every damn quarterback we ever saw in the 80s.
That's true. That's a fair point. I think that's a fair point. That it's one of those things. I even said it. Hey. Look, there isn't a day that goes by that I am not wearing something Tom Brady. I'm not even joking. I own Brady brand underwear. He is my pinnacle of sports guy or whatever. Anywho, but I said it when they drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. This is before they won again in Seattle. So you got to remember, Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted in the second round. And I said, at some point you have to move on from Brady because that's just how it goes.
Yeah. But unfortunately, he kept winning, and
he just went on and won 4 more Super Bowls after that, and you're just that doesn't happen. Yeah. So,
eventually Brett Favre. Everybody declined. Even the immortal, the Iron Man, Brett Favre, he declined.
Yeah.
After he made the Pro Bowl when he was 40. Even Warren Moon, seems like these guys were just immortal. And
all of a sudden it's just
boom, from sugar to shit just that fast. So that's just how it was. I mean, Max Kellerman is one of the smartest sports analysts ever. I really think that a lot of people at ESPN, like I said, certain guys in particular were intimidated by his intelligence. And that's the reason why he's no longer on First Take. But I got to ask you one more thing. Hopefully we get BRF to rejoin us. We was talking about this in the chat. I know I didn't put this. We didn't put this. We didn't agree on this as part of the show. But I have to ask you this in the public eye. Just because I want to hear your knowledge about it. What do you think about WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I'll just be blunt about it. I don't like the Saudi money infiltrating itself into not only American sports, but American culture. I will say And I can kind of go farther on that in a little bit in a second here. But I will say that they've gone from not allowing the women to compete at all to actually allowing the women to compete. So, and then, I mean, Sami Zayn wasn't even allowed to like wrestle. And now he's allowed to wrestle. So as a byproduct, it may be a good thing for progress there.
Yeah.
But I do think that right now the WWE and TKO have an image problem a little bit. I think that, I mean, you heard the things come out with the TKO about saying like, you know, Vince McMahon priced stuff up for families and like we haven't even like gotten as high as we want to go. And what makes wrestling special and a uniquely and a uniquely American thing to us, even
Everybody
though like
can go.
What?
Everybody can go.
Well, yes, but then the thing is like it's the ability to take your kids. The reason why wrestling survives is like me being able to take my daughter to SummerSlam and going and meeting Cody Rhodes, and it doesn't cost. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's still it's something like that. It's still expensive, but it's not like only for like the 1% essentially. And you are now pricing out people like the prices are stupid. And this is the thing when TKO bought, I remember talking with a former friend about this who was a big wrestling fan. And he was all excited because it was going to be allowed Triple H to take over as creative and not have Vince there anymore. And I was excited for that too. But I also warned him, I said, at some point TKO will corporatize WWE. It will happen.
Much like the Turner did WCW.
Yeah,
because it's no longer a wrestling company.
Yeah, and at some point, don't be shocked because I mean we've seen some dissent from Stephanie McMahon herself. Don't be surprised if TKO pushes out the wrestlers in favor of
corporation.
Corporate, running corporate, like doing exactly what WCW did and Turner Sports. Like, well, we're going to take the wrestling guys out and put corporate people in those places to run the company. And I'm telling you, that's going to happen. Again, it's not even a hot take; it's the right take. At some point, they will push out guys like, and you can think what you want about Kevin Pritchard and Triple H and whoever, but they're wrestling guys, and they'll push out Michael Hayes and
is it Michael Hayes or Doc Hendricks?
It's Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes. Don't look. I know he had that brief little run, but don't do that, man. Like that. That is Michael P.S. Hayes. That is one half of one of the great tag teams of all time. That's 1/3 of one of the great factions of all time. That is Michael Hayes.
As a teenager, he is the teenager in me. He is Doc Hendricks.
Doc Hendricks.
I didn't like that name change when he did it. Like I still like Doc Hendricks, bro. What?
That was the Vince thing. That was
no. The thing was Vince is notorious for doing this. He's notorious for just not wanting guys to have their old gimmicks and bringing it in. I think the only guy he did that with, he allowed to do that, was JYD and Jake the Snake. I think
you had to be big enough to be like the Road Warriors.
Yeah, Road Warriors. But when you think about the guys that he took away their gimmick when they came in, think about the Texas Tornado. I'll give that as a prime example.
Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, so I mean, think about that. I mean, Texas Tornado was a prime example because everybody knew that's not the fucking Texas Tornado. That's Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, if you listen to Jim Cornette talk about Kevin Dunn, like
Ooh.
If that,
if I do this, you know who I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. People have a lot to say about Jim Cornette, about a lot of things, but I would love to interview and really pick the brain of Jim Cornette.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to him and good old JR. I would love to talk to him about the territory days, how things were done back then. Because I was born at the end of the territory days.
Yeah,
you know, when my parents told me, right, and I know this is offset. When my parents told me, I remember mom looked over at the TV one day. She said, "Damn, that's Ric Flair." I was like, "Oh, you know who Ric Flair is?" She said, "You fucking idiot. He's been wrestling since I was a child. Well, how would I not know him?" And I remember my mom took us all in, and my father too. My mom and father, she sat down and watched wrestling with us, showed us the wrestlers that had been wrestling since she was a child. I didn't realize Hulk Hogan had been wrestling that long. He was like, Hulk Hogan's been wrestling since I was a child. You know, I was like, what? You know,
yeah.
That's how come I say wrestlers are some of the most in shape guys in the world, because they be wrestling into their 50s and their 60s, and you can't even, if you put a blind eye, you can't even tell how old they really are. I didn't realize when Bret Hart was in within the WWE at his last run in 1997, I realized he was like 40 years old, because he was in that impeccable of a shape. But I remember she told us, she was like, man, they used to have wrestling at the civic centers all the time, and they used to, it was 2 times a week. And she was like, I used to go, Ric Flair used to come on Sunday, and and Hogan used to come on Friday. So that was like doing all the time. She was like, there was one guy, I'll never forget, my Uncle Solomon, God rest his soul. I never forget. She was like, ooh, your Uncle Solomon used to love this guy, big old guy. Used to have his fork with him all the time. He used to scare me off. I said, Abdullah the Butcher. She's like, yes. When he used to come, I used to go to the bathroom. I ain't come back until the match was over. Because she was like, he used to go out there and eat flies and crap like that. It used to bother me. But yeah, I would love to sit with Jim Cornette and ask him about the territory days, how booking used to happen back then. How did they recognize who's drawing the money? How do they recognize that? How do they know when to push a guy when he's kind of borderline? I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Jim Cornette about that. And some of the old school wrestlers, who a lot of them are passing away now, who were back during the territory days. As we know, we had a health scare with the great Jerry the King Lawler. He just had a health scare. He's okay now. But when you really look at it, all the territory guys, they're leaving us. And we don't have that segue, that bridging of the gap from the territory days to the TV days. Just like I believe that when our generation leaves, we're not going to have the guys that passed that are from the TV days to the streaming days.
Yeah,
I believe that. But to your point, Flash, I'll say this. I believe that in a minute they are going to push them out. They haven't pushed them out yet because they can't. Because the ratings are good, ticket sales, merchandising, everything else is at an all-time high right about now. So you can't afford to push them out. But I think
not yet.
If those in like 3 years, if those ratings slip like they did through the transition of the Attitude to like the PG, from the Attitude to Ruthless Aggression era, like they did during the PG era, that's when they're going to start pushing guys out.
Yeah.
And once Vince, I think, passes away, there's no longer going to be any link from the territory days to nowadays. It's just going to be full corporate wrestling, and you have to wonder when wrestling goes corporate, eventually it dies.
It will die as an American pop culture thing.
Yeah,
once it goes, because the WWE isn't family owned anymore. Like, that was the one thing. Like, as much as we all hated Vince, and Vince is an awful person, but at the same time, when you keep it in the family, it's going to be a family business at the end of the day. And now if you're not able to pass that down from generation to generation, it will, if you corporatize it too much, it will die. And that's something that's really sad, because I'm trying to go to SummerSlam next year in Minneapolis because it's just a state over. But if like ticket prices keep going up the way they are, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. Like, I mean,
look, you got to ask yourself that, because the thing is, that's the thing about sports, especially baseball. That's why baseball is still around. You can still get $20. I think that there's been a stigma with sports. They're always trying to make it elite when it's not supposed to be that.
no.
Sports is supposed to be for everyone.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you want to do, like, I understand. Another one. Oh man,
They knocked the piss out of him.
yeah, dude, they have been killing JJ tonight.
They knocked the hell out of him.
Dude, he looks wow.
They knocked the hell out of him. Where
Good Lord. And they got the fumble.
They knocked
Dude,
the
no
hell
chip
out
for
of
Aaron
him.
Jones at all. Like,
Good Lord.
They knocked his ass out. He's struggling getting up.
Boy, he looked like Aaron Rodgers at one time when his helmet flew up on his head. That's how he looked just then.
Like, hey, you gotta watch it
Good
though.
I gotta tell you though, like, you gotta finish
score a
them
touchdown.
off. What?
We gotta score a touchdown.
Yeah, you gotta finish them off. Like, you can't let them hang around right now. Like, you gotta finish them off.
That offensive line can do nothing with our defensive line. They got to put them away now.
Yeah, like there's no.
Bijan Robinson.
All it takes is one bomb to Justin Jefferson, and we got a completely different ball game.
Hell yeah. And so they gotta finish them all. I keep running that damn clock out too. Give it to him until he stops. And we have the Las Vegas Aces. They are up by 7 points against the Seattle Storm. So no surprise there.
So, Champ, question: how are the what's the playoffs like as far as the series layout with the WNBA?
Oh, the first game, the first series is 3 games.
Okay.
Best out of 3. Then the next one after that is the best out of 5. Then the finals.
And then the finals is best out of 7.
I think we might go all 3 games with Indiana at this point, I believe. Because I believe
You think so?
I think it's gonna be hard as hell to beat them in Indiana.
Ooh.
Bijan Robinson is running his ass off today, man. Big shout out to Bijan.
The fact that he spent out of that and still got the first down, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jamal Anderson Escaron. Damn. You got to air that ball out like a Steelers fan, man. You already beating them. Play action. Do something.
I gotta say, if Minnesota holds them to another field goal, bravo.
So yeah, they got the score this time. They got to score. This has been a hell of a defensive game, man.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a hell of a defensive game.
Great
and
job.
look, for people who are going to say this game is boring, you're not a true football fan. I'll say it.
Then you don't know. Then you're not. Yes,
You're
exactly.
casual. You're
casual.
And that's okay. That's okay. No harm. But
swing it. Swing. Damn it!
What?
Nope. Now you're out of field goal range now too.
They just took a sack, didn't they?
Yeah, 6 sack. Yeah.
Can't do that.
You can't do that. All right, now you got to get back a field goal range and then kick the field goal, bro. Because
third down or is that third down?
Yeah, that's third down. But you gotta do some things because this is the defensive game for the ages right about now. Let me see how many points Asia Wilson has right now because she looks like she's having a good game. I'm just not able to see what she's doing right now. Let me see how much Asia has progressed.
A lot of this play calling is Zach Robinson. Why isn't he moving Michael Penix out the pocket more?
I don't know. They're probably trying to play cautious. They're probably playing a little bit too cautious, but which can be a double-edged sword. they're seeing what the running game is kind of killing them at this point, and you don't want to put him at risk too much. So I understand. Shit, I
understand. I understand, but Minnesota doesn't exactly have the greatest secondary in the world.
They don't. So, but we got to do something. Even if we score a field goal, we got to score something this drive. We can't let it linger at 12.
No, you kick a field goal. It's at least 2 scores.
It's at least a 2-score game. You got to get back in field goal range. This was going to Kyle.
Well, we just tried to play before. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Long as Koo ain't in there, I like my chances. So, the question that I asked Flash, BRF, what do you think about? I know this wasn't part of the show, but I have to ask you guys in the public eye so we can get a public opinion. I'm going to take this theme off because this is like a real pipe bomb. What do you think about Saudi Arabia hosting WrestleMania? And what do you think about the ticket prices being increased so much over the course of the last couple of years? Yes,
it's making it harder for the they're gonna push away like just the casual fans, and it's mainly gonna be the fans that can actually afford said tickets. And wrestling wasn't a sport that was built on that.
No,
we take it. We take it.
I said it when you were gone. They have an image problem right now. As successful as they are, they're the PR on the internet right now is not good. Like
at all.
They're getting there's all this like, oh, we're going to destroy AEW. Like there's a lot of that like chatter of they want to destroy AEW because the way they're booking their shows on days and territories and stuff like that. And I'm like, you keep pricing out everybody, you're going to drive people to AEW.
Exactly.
You're going to do the exact thing that you're trying not to do. And again, wrestling, I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's a very unique American thing. Not saying it's not worldly because, you go to Japan, Mexico and stuff like that too. Like it's really, really big in those cultures, but it's a uniquely American thing as in like, it's a generational passed down thing. And when you price out the average Joe and the average Joe's kids, well, the thing that you did was everybody complained about the Cena thing. And I was one of those ones that complained about Super Cena all the time. And I got, I couldn't stand it, but it wasn't about me anymore. It was about the kids. Cause at the end of the day, all the people that are cheering for Cena right now are the ones that grew up watching him. And he was their hope. And, like right now, Cody is my daughter's Cena Hogan. So, my Hogan is technically Hogan, but sort of Stone Cold Steve Austin, sort of, I guess. But when you take that, when you possibly take that element, when you turn into like a corporate thing, and it will happen, they will push out the wrestling people. They will. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. Because money is money, and people want power and decision-making power. And at some point, and there's already dissent by Stephanie McMahon. Like she's kind of like, look, this sounds messed up, but there's internet chatter for Vince to buy it back. Like there's like people that are like pushing that narrative that Vince should buy it back. Now I don't want that either because he's an awful person. But
exactly.
You are putting yourself in a situation like that, and that's not good. So with it going to Saudi Arabia, I'm with you, BRF. It should have gone to London first. If you're
it should have.
and it's not about London. It's not about, and there's a wrestling guy that I follow on TikTok. And he said, this is all about money. And he's like, they're going to take the highest bid for WrestleMania from now on. And basically it's going to just flip back and forth between Saudi Arabia and Vegas. Like
Pretty much.
New Orleans took a bid and they took the bid out because they're like, oh, no, Vegas bid. It's all about money now. So that random WrestleMania in Chicago, that ain't going to happen no more. That random WrestleMania in Minnesota, that's not going to happen no more. And they're going to start doing these big PLEs in places that, you know, like they used to do big PLEs in Wisconsin. That won't happen again. Guarantee it. And we used to get at least like an In Your House or Over the Edge or King of the Ring, and we are just going to be subjugated to SmackDowns and Raws. And that's sad. And I hope that that this doesn't happen, but I'm old enough to know how corporations work, and that's what's going to happen. At the end of the day, money's money.
Yeah, just like the UFC. Remember, the UFC used to travel before they just was in Vegas all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Boxing used to be all over the place before it was just in Vegas all the time.
Yep. Oh, he overthrew him.
Yeah, he could have overthrown Castro with that one. Let me stop saying that before I get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble.
Why? Man's dead. One, he's dead. And two, he should have been overthrown anyways. So
can we not?
Good God. God damn. Man, he really had him too. Goodness.
Yeah, that was really close.
Yeah, that was real close.
I guarantee you, champ, that is like one of the least controversial takes you're gonna have. Like, man, that Castro guy, man, he should have been overthrown. I don't think anybody's gonna go, ugh, I don't know about that.
I don't think anybody's gonna call you cringe for saying that one.
Yeah, I think it's like, I like a chocolate cake. Ugh, I don't know about that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like chocolate ice cream. Wait, pause.
Yeah, you know who helped me come up with that, right?
Does that mean you don't like vanilla ice cream?
You forgot to do this. What the girls be doing now? This right here. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, if you see this, then you know you're like, she's gonna lecture. She's gonna try and lecture.
You can't tell from my child that I like a good swirl. Okay, chocolate vanilla all way. Okay,
dude. McDonald's like swirl soft serve from when I was a kid, dude. That shit fucking great.
They don't even sell that though. McDonald's, you did us an injustice by doing that shit. We're mad at you. So, but yeah. Who helped me come up with that was my brother. God rest his soul. He said, I think he can overthrow the king with that. If that's what, that's like about Chase when I went on PSP show. And he said, I think he go. I said, hell, he probably could because we used to talk about Boomer Esiason all the time. And I said, he probably could throw Castro with that throw. So that's
I like that line. That's a great line.
I've always liked it.
Considering history in general, like that's a great line.
I mean, at least I didn't say Gaddafi. But no, man. Look, man. When you are in the when you should be in the military, when you a former veteran, you develop a lot of dark humor. Remember when I'm not trying to get into politics. Remember when the president, we called him. Remember when 45? We just say 45. Remember when 45 dropped that 500-pound bomb on that dude in the middle of Iraq, and did only thing you saw on military blogs back when I was still doing the military. Only thing you saw on the military blog is the dude's face, and he said Iran. and then he put up on there just not fast enough. Just not fast enough.
Oh, dude, someone said something about like when Trump did that, it was like it's like he turned that dude into a picadillo, like just like nothing, and I just like,
yeah, it was like I read just not fast enough. I said, "What are y'all going to hell?"
Well, see, that's why, champ. It's so funny to me that you are so like, oh, Aaron, don't say that. And I'm like, dude, you were in the military. Like, I know.
I've heard a hell of a lot worse in the military. When I was in the Army, I heard a lot of crazy shit. It's like, what the fuck? There's stuff
I don't think there's anything that I've said.
We used to do in the military, it'll get you fired nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It'll get you fired in the real world. But we had a mentality. It's like, hell, what they gonna do? Fire us?
Well, and then on top of it, to do a lot of the jobs in the military, you have to have a sense of humor like that.
So, the desert has no mercy. But man, but I really think that these corporations are taking over sports. I really believe this. I believe eventually there's not going to be any more family-owned sports teams anymore. I think eventually a lot of sports are going to go to corporations.
I don't say that living in. I'm sorry, I interrupt, champ. You go ahead.
I don't really think that. I really think eventually, once some of these owners start dying out, because you saw what happened. You're seeing what happened in basketball right now. A lot of these family-owned teams are going corporate. Remember the buses. They just sold the LA Lakers for $10 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe eventually it's not just, I think this is just a trial run. I believe eventually a lot of teams are going to be corporate owned.
Yeah.
I believe that, and eventually you're not going to hear a lot of this. Now, the flip side of that coin, you're not going to hear a lot of salary negotiations when that does happen. You're going to be locked the hell in.
I think that's why I think the Packers are going to be a very unique franchise organization, as even more so as the years go on, being city owned and owned by the city and by the people.
The only publicly owned team in history.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a very unique thing. As the years go on and teams become more and more into more corporate area. I mean, I hope, like, I don't know if Arthur Blank has kids or not, but I hope he has some kids that like he can pass the team down to. He can keep that, and they can keep that tradition of like low concessions and all that kind of stuff. Because that's you can say what you want about the Falcons as a franchise, like success wise. They haven't won a Super Bowl, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, if I lived in the Georgia area and grew up, like, that would mean more to me than almost a lot of other things. Because I an owner that actually legit cares, and that's rare. So,
yeah, and he changed it from the Georgia Dome. I remember at the Georgia Dome, I went one when it was at the Georgia Dome, and they was taxing. And when I say they were taxing, they was taxing.
Oh, dude, I went to a Brewer game last year, the year before. Last year, the year before.
They got them long ass hot dogs at the Brewers game.
They do.
Yeah.
They also got we got some really big ass Bloody Marys that with like burgers in them and all sorts of shit. Like,
that fuck up my stomach. I got acid reflux. I can't fuck with that.
But they, dude,
they got that first down.
I was in a box with the company I was working for at the time, and I was in a box and I went to go get a Bloody Mary. Dude, that Bloody Mary was $23.
Damn.
Ooh.
And it was like a short, like it was small, and I'm like, it's just nuts. It's crazy. Like, the amount of money you pay for like a burger. Like I was just at the Packer game. It's not that bad. That's the one thing about, besides it being city owned, they do keep their prices, like not only like the tickets, but concessions and stuff. They keep it kind of in the middle. So it's not like too expensive, but not too cheap. So they do a really good job of that. But yeah, I don't know.
Hey, one thing about it, man, you can't outprice the everyday man.
No,
You cannot price them because those are your casual fans. Those are your audience. We're the look. I'm gonna just be real. We're the ones buying the beers. We're the ones cheering the team. Even and the thing is, even and here's how it is. Here's how sports is, especially wrestling. Even when you have nothing else, you have your team.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Even when you have nothing else, everything is fucking going bad. It's just like I can have a losing season, but at least I can go and watch the Falcons. I can go and watch the Braves. The thing about the Braves, the tickets are still like $45, $20. You can still like you're gonna pay out the ass for the concessions, but they're still affordable. And that's what the ballpark is. I think that these corporations, I understand that you got to make money. You want to look. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. I normally don't talk like this, but I'm not gonna be PC today. I understand that a lot of these billionaires, you want to have your extra yacht, you want to be able to pay for your hookers on the side, do whatever for your wives and your mistresses and shit like that. I understand that perfectly. You got to pay out loans, you got to pay your protection money, you got to pay to play. But damn, you don't have to just outprice it so much to the point where a person who's never been to a game, whose lifelong dream is to take his daughter or to take their son to a game, is not realized because you want to sit around here and pay for these little idiots to walk around on your yacht with a damn thong on.
and look, I'm not a Mr. like, eat the rich guy. It's not my thing, and not to get too political, but I agree. At some point, at some point the wealth disparity gets out of control, and at some, I mean, we got people doing it already. Like people are just like, well, all right, I'm just not going to go to that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like all the people that go to the games now, they're going to be casuals, and I mean casuals, like not like the hardcore fans that know the game or know wrestling or whatever. Those are the ones that you want there. And look, and this happens in every empire, almost in every society. At some point, the rich get too rich, and then the people below they get sick of it, and shitty things happen. So I'm just saying, like, all you owners,
let's hope we don't turn into Gotham City.
Right.
All you owners,
all the bullshit happening right about now is looking like that. Let me go ahead and go back and put my full battle rattle on because bullshit getting thick nowadays. Damn.
Dude, it's been again, I'm not gonna get too political or whatever, but it's been a really crazy week. And I hope as a society that we can kind of like, I'm gonna tell you right now, what will solve a lot of this unrest is if people are able to afford food and afford stuff. I'm telling you, right, it does, and that's across whatever line you can think of. White, black, Asian, inner city, country. If people are able to afford things, people don't care. They just want to be able to live. And I'm a firm believer, as much as like I'm an old school guy. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people just want to work and be able to afford things.
Exactly.
And if you can't do that,
and feed their families, because there's so many men and women out here that, I mean, hell, I'll never forget a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say any name. He said, hell, I make over $130,000 a year. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I said, how the fuck is that going on?
I read an article like 2 weeks ago that and this is countrywide, this is not even based on like, but especially it's here in Wisconsin. If you make $76,000 a year, that's still barely enough to live somewhat comfortably. That's insane. 10 years ago, what?
And much less buy a ticket to WrestleMania.
Yeah. 10 years ago, that would have been able, you'd have been able to like do, and wages weren't that great back then either. But like $76,000 a year would have gotten you really far. Like now, nope. And so I'm it's a problem, and I hope, like I said, after everything that's gone on this week, this administration and us as a society have a lot of work to do, and I hope we're able to figure it out.
Yeah,
and they are be able to figure it out.
I hope they do this too. It's been a long ass week.
Yep.
Kids are getting hurt. Politicians are getting hurt a little bit. Our heroes are dying in the form of Ricky Hatton. It's getting hellacious. Yeah. It's like, but I really think that they need to look. I miss being able. The thing is, here's what I do every single day. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I watch sports. I got 2 computer screens. I got one I'm looking at right now, and I got the other computer screen I'm looking at too. And then guess what? I got an iPad in my hand right about now, so I can pay attention to any baseball game I want to right now. And then I got my damn TV on right there. So I'm looking at sports all the time on Sunday through Saturday. So yeah, then you got this right here, so I can look at a little bit of everything. So, but I really wish that I'm hoping that eventually they don't make this into. And look, like I said, this is not a political. This is sports. Sports is money. Sports is money. That's the reason why Las Vegas is going downhill. Because it's not affordable. They're trying to make it the rich man's playground, and that shit don't work all the time, partner.
It don't.
It don't work all the time. Just score so we can go the fuck home. Score.
He's stupid.
I'm ready. Look, just score. I don't want to leave no more doubt. I don't want to leave this young man hanging around. Remember what they did last week. So yeah, I'm just hoping that they just score and get it going, man. But yeah, once you try to make it an elitist playground, that's when casual fans start leaving, and that's when, like I said, Vegas is dying because of that. A lot of the slot machines are at an all-time low. I mean, the pool parties are at an all-time low. A little bit of everything. So yeah, I mean, that's what it is. But you got to make.
I think, honestly though, with this game, I think at this point, if Atlanta just scores the way their defense is playing, good gosh. I mean, I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy can't do it, but the way the Falcon defense playing today, they just need to put points on the board right here. But I would much rather them put a touchdown up and just ice the game.
Okay, so I got a random kind of silly question, but okay, Tom Brady said on Fox that he'll be at the Chargers-Raiders game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And he plans on announcing something very special he's been working on for a very long time. What do you guys think that is?
He's coming back.
No, I don't know. I really with Tom Brady.
If Tom Brady come back, I'm gonna take out a damn loan in order to go watch him play. I'm gonna take out a damn loan in order to go watch him play. So yeah, he go. No, I think that he's going to be more of a majority owner.
Really? On the Raiders?
The Raiders. Or either he's going to take.
Because he can't come back anyway. He would have to sell his share of the team anyway.
Yeah, he had to sell his share. Just Michael Jordan had to share his share of the team. You can't be an
owner.
He
had to sell his share just in order to come back. So
promises major announcement. There's no.
Oh yeah, PSP. What are your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson? I don't want to see that shit.
I don't want to see that either, bro.
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Yeah, it's like that's like a car crash. You don't want to put your eyes on it, but you got to look at it anyway.
Yeah, it's like come on now. It's like I don't.
No, because it's going to be fixed. That's why. It's not going to be a serious fight, because if it was a serious fight, Mike Tyson would kill him.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he should. I mean, quiet as it's kept, Mike should have won that Jake Paul fight. He had
there were 2 or 3 instances where Jake Paul left himself open and Mike wanted to pull the trigger so bad.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if Mike pulled the trigger once, Jake Paul's teeth would be in the 10th row.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yes, we won. 5-yard penalty.
Hold on, they made him jump?
Yep.
Damn.
Neutral zone infraction.
Damn, that's ball game. Yeah, that ball game right there.
Ball game.
First down. Well, hold on, how much time left?
Yeah, you got 4 minutes left, but they ain't got no more timeouts.
Oh, yeah, that's all they. Yeah, that's right. Minnesota didn't use all their timeouts. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they gonna run that damn clock out. Who getting the ball,
Yeah.
Tyler or no?
It should be. It
No,
should be late in the game. It should be Tyler.
That's Bijan's touchdown. Do you think we can have an 1,000-yard rusher? Do you think that with the running game the way that it is now, we can have 2 1,000-yard rushers this year?
Very possible.
What'd you say?
2,000-yard rusher.
1,000-yard rushers
This year?
Yeah,
It's possible, yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. I think Atlanta, the only 2 teams that can legit do it are Detroit and Atlanta.
don't fumble that damn ball. Just hold on.
The only 2, I think the only 2 teams, the way they're made with their running back room, Detroit and Atlanta, like David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then Bijan and Tyler Algier, I think they can both have 2,000-yard rushers. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, but that Floyd Mayweather Tyson fight, I really don't want to see it. It's like
I think that's your ball game now, folks.
ball game.
Long, but this is what I say though. If I'm Jeff Ulbrich, I do not play soft defense. I keep trying to hit JJ McCarthy in the mouth.
Exactly. Hey, every time Mike Tyson is fighting, it's like he's washing clothes. Lord, Mr. DC, come on, man. But
every time you fight, it look like you watching clothes. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm done. I am so finished. Oh, God. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. This was even though the scoring, the offense wasn't like, the passing game wasn't the same, these are team wins I like to see. You build off of wins like this. Because let me tell you something. If I'm that defense, I'm like riding cloud 9 right now the way I played tonight. Because, I mean, Chicago isn't exactly a slouch on defense. And you saw what Minnesota was able to come back to do to them. So for Atlanta to do that to them tonight in Minnesota, that's a statement. This will be a statement win as long as they hold them off.
Yeah, they got to hold them off. Let's not foul.
But it's like I said, though, if I'm Jeff Ulbrich, I'm not pulling the reins back on that front 7. I am letting 16-point lead. Oh, boy, just go get him. I don't even care at that point. Just go get him.
Yeah. Anything that you guys want to add before we end the show off?
I didn't get a chance to do my analysis of the Canelo Crawford fight.
Oh, my bad.
I was trying to get back in time. Like, the funny part about it is I actually took a nap. I fell asleep. Being my 39-year-old self, I fell asleep. And I woke back up in like the 6th or 7th round. But I will say this, though. I did go back and watch like earlier stages of the fight. Crawford had him figured out after the 5th round. Because you saw he had this kind of look on his face after the 5th round ended, and he had this big ear-to-ear grin on his face. And I looked at him like, aha, yeah. Crawford had him figured out in the 5th round. Because from then and there, you could just see like it wasn't like a complete like I mean, it wasn't like a defensive gem like the way Mayweather did Canelo, because Crawford was a little more offensive based, but you could just see like when they announced this fight, I said, yeah, Crawford's gonna win. Crawford's gonna win. And the thing is, people talk about Canelo's age. Terence Crawford 2 years older than Canelo Alvarez. So people keep talking about his age. Crawford's older. But when they announced that fight, I just knew Crawford is unlike anything Canelo's seen. And that includes Mayweather. Just the sheer total package of his defense, his footwork, but yet the fact that he brings hand speed and power to this, to where that he could have knocked Canelo out. Yeah, I think it was he's a different type of boxer, and I just knew when they announced that fight, I'm like, yeah, Crawford's gonna outbox him, Crawford's gonna win. And sure enough, we get to the fight, and that's pretty much exactly how it went down. Like Crawford, that was clinical. That's probably one of the best performances I've seen in a super fight in a long time. Like in a fight of that magnitude, that's probably one of the better performances I've seen in like a long time.
Yeah. Feel you on that, man. Feel you. Man, it's like I said, I believe that I truly believe that Crawford watched that Mayweather fight. He watched that Mayweather fight when he faced one of the last fights when Canelo faced Floyd back in I think it was the late 2010s. I believe I believe that he watched that fight and he studied that fight and was able to learn a lot from that particular fight, because for him to come in there to just be able to hit him at will.
It is, yeah.
And his power, and Canelo is a power puncher. For his power, not to be felt, I think that, yeah. And like I told Flash earlier, I think that Canelo thought he was going to come in here and just overpower him at a certain point, because Bud was a little bit smaller than he was.
Yeah, exactly. Like moving up to 2 weight classes, he thought he had something. Little did he know, just because he was coming up 2 weight classes, Crawford's bringing about as much hand power as Canelo to the scene.
I gotta say the one thing that bugs me about the fight, the only thing that makes me, and I said this in the chat, is that Crawford did a little bit of acting when it came to that headbutt, and Canelo was pouring it on right then, and that was a little bit of like, some bitch, my eye, oh damn.
He caught him, but he didn't caught him to the extent that he sold it.
Yeah, no, he sold it. That was a very
Montreal sale job.
Yeah, it was like that. And that I'm going to say that that killed Canelo's momentum in that moment, because he was pouring it on and he had him against the ropes. And I'm just saying, that's the one thing that makes me go about that fight, where you could possibly talk about. Yeah, you could talk about a rematch just based off of that, because I thought that was a poor call by the ref. I really did. But I still don't think they'll make this a double fight or just because of money. But
if they get Minnesota for holding that ball game.
Oh, that's holding, bro.
That's all right.
They got offensive holding.
Yeah, I think that's offensive holding.
All right, boys.
Word.
Because I got to get up at like 4 a.m. So,
all right, brother. We're going to end the show on that note. Love you all. Hey, love you all. And look, stay prayed up, everybody. I know we don't get religious too much on here, but look, if you don't believe in God, you better have a damn good substitute. I'm going to tell you that much. But on that note,
a topic not thought about is a topic not talked about. Y'all stay up and y'all stay easy. We love each and every one of y'all.
Yep.
Yes,
indeed. Stay safe, everybody.
All right, now.